Tonight marks a new era of football for the St. Francis DeSales Knights as they kick off the 2021 season, welcoming in the powerful Clyde Fliers. Welcome inside the Glass Bowl, everybody. Tim Clagg alongside Ed Bellner. Tonight's coverage brought to you by our friends at Dave White Chevrolet. For the number one buy with the number one guy, the place to go is DaveWhiteChevy.com. Hello again, friends. Tim Clagg alongside Ed Bellner here. Ed, so great to be back with you, our fifth season together. And this is an intriguing matchup, a rematch of sorts from 2019 when St. Francis won in dramatic fashion. Their starting quarterback tonight, Denham Truss, he was the starter in that game in 2019, but he had it all taken away from him. He was injured in that game, and this is his first start since 2019.
Yeah, he was injured in that game, and Kaiser came in and took over this team for the last few years. So there's a lot of differences. So, yes, a rematch that, Clyde's hoping to revenge that loss and an otherwise great season they had that year. And they are looking forward to come away with a win here tonight. We get to see the first showing of a Bruce Gradkowski coach team, and so it'll be interesting to see what St. Francis brings on the field.
St. Francis will receive the opening kick here. Both teams on the field ever before the clock expires. They are chomping at the bit to get this new season that, by the way, has a non-conference schedule this year. That's going to be one of the big things for both these two teams before they dive into their respected conferences. For St. Francis, the track; for the Clyde Fliers, the SBC River Division.
Yeah, and we are moments away. You're right, these teams are ready. And I will say, St. Francis came out of the locker room fired up and ready to play this game.
Trying to prove an early point. The Bruce Gradkowski era underway. This is received at the 15-yard line. Mackay Smith almost out to the 30, and indeed at the 30-yard line. And that's where this offense will start for their first possession of the new year under first-year starting quarterback Denham Truss. Truss, we mentioned, lost the starting job, was never able to recover it after Davin Kaiser came in and played very well, but he was able to sit behind him for 2 years, get that experience, get the reps, mature a little bit, and now this is a group that's hungry to prove a point.
Yeah, and he's got both the ability to run and pass the ball. He's a big quarterback. You can see him there as he's getting ready to take his first snap of the season.
There you see a lot of movement. They're going to spread the field here on this first play. Quick little pass out in space. And that is Trey Talbot to the 33-yard line. A quick little hitter to him, the senior wide receiver. He has the most experience of this young wide receiving core for Coach Gradkowski.
Yeah, you got to be excited with the yards after catch on that. He got first contact, and he broke through it. Not a big gainer, but it's positive yards. I mean, that play could have been stopped for no gain, and he did a nice job of getting a couple yards to make it a 2nd and 7.
This Flyers defense returns their entire front seven, led by the defensive tackle. That is Remington Norman. Here's the first carry, and the ball's loose. Good heads-up play by Truss to realize it squirted free and immediately took action diving on top of the ball.
Yeah, great job by Truss getting on that ball. In that interior, as you were mentioning, of Clyde's defense, solid 9 returners on this defense, in a defense that really, they said, those 2 internal guys and that middle linebacker, I think St. Francis is going to have a hard time running on them tonight.
The guys to keep an eye on, especially in the middle and on the edge, Remington Norman, 13.5 sacks a season ago. He had 11.5 sacks as a sophomore. Neary, the motion man. Truss running, pressure coming, gets rid of it in time. It ends up being a short throw. Talbot had to go downstairs and couldn't get it before it hit the turf. It will bring up 4th and 5 here. So just a minute and a half off the clock here in the opening possession.
In that offensive line for St. Francis, kind of the area of question mark as they come into this game. And you saw there, Truss had a lot of pressure in his face really early. Good job by the offensive coordinator rolling the pocket, not just leaving him stand there, but he had to get rid of that ball quicker than he wanted to.
Abram Morrison on the coverage for the Clyde Fliers. And they're going to have to respect the kicking game here. A little bit of wind here, and there is a beautiful punt. Didn't call for a fair catch, and that could have cost them dearly. Coming down, swarming up on the coverage was Alex Schaefer, and also two there, it was Andrew Massel.
Yeah, two guys coming in, flying down there and doing an excellent job of quick coverage, and nice job for no gains after the catch.
It's very rare, Ed, that we see a team come back with their starting quarterback, a 1,000-yard rusher, their top four receivers who all had over 30 receptions in this offense. They are all back for Coach Ryan Carter in his 9th season. There you see the man that will lead this offense out of the gun. That is the senior quarterback this season, Jaden Cook. Threw for 1,700 yards. He wants to clean up taking care of the ball. He had a little too many interceptions last year for Coach's liking. First play going to be a run with that 1,000-yard rusher from the 33 to the 35, a 2-yard gain on first down for the Flyers.
We see a hard hit and a helmet come flying off
right.
for one of the St. Francis interior linemen. So he's got to sit out of play. And
there was some movement. No flag.
Javon Toyer having to sit out of play.
And that's the most experienced player of this defense. A special mention track selection last season. Here's 2nd and 8. And a little bit of a seam opening up on the second carry for Michael Daniels. And Daniels, that 1,000-yard rusher. And the thing that really stuck out to me, chatting with Coach Carter, this running back core did not have a fumble all season long last year.
Yeah, that's what stuck out as well. Like you said, the quarterback, a few too many interceptions. But when the backs are taking care of the ball like that, man, if you can clean up the... Yep, and they did get him to jump. So great hard count there by the quarterback to draw the defense off sides. And that's a cheap, for the defense, they were looking good. I was thinking, Arnold did a nice job of not letting the tailback break loose on that last play. And then you give up a cheap 5 yards and you get to reset the down in distance.
Dominic Arnold, you mentioned Toyer earlier. Arnold, that player across the middle, the 3-sport athlete for Coach Gradkowski. Last year, on the second game of this season, he had a pick 6 and a fumble recovery for a touchdown, looking for an encore to kick off the 2021 season. A fresh set of downs coming from the 44. This thrown out to space and lunging forward for a yard gain. And on the tackle, it's Josh Neary coming up from the secondary.
Love the open field tackle there by Neary because, early in the season, sometimes those are the things that, as a coach, you're looking for. How sure tackling are the guys early on in this first quarter? Excellent job there by Neary.
Inching closer into Knights territory here as we're 3.5 minutes in this opening quarter of play. You see the tight end as well set to the left. That's Robbie Greenslade, the motion man. Operating out of the pistol. Daniels shifting, trying to get free to his left. They were able to wrap him up, able to get a hand on the jersey. That was Jared Mott, able to drag him down.
Excellent job so far. Other than jumping offside, this defense, they're flowing to the ball, they're getting off the blocks, and they're sure tackling to create this 3rd and long.
Another 3rd and long, 3rd and 8, coming at the 46-yard line. Keep an eye as they spread the field here. Their top wide receiver, Griffin Nofitz, from one season ago. They're going to run it on 3rd and 6 here. A little bit of a surprise. And now it's decision time here. You're almost right at midfield. You got a few yards there to the 48. Do you try and run it on 4th? I mean, do you try and go for it on 4th and 4 early?
It looks like they're getting ready to. They're almost at the midfield stripe. That says he's got a lot of confidence in his defense, because if you don't get it, you're giving the Knights great field position.
Lozier going in motion now on the right side in the slot. That play clock at 10, and they're going to do a quick punt here. Try and pin the Knights deep, and this will stop and be touched down inside the 5. Mark it down at the 2-yard line, and on the coverage there, it was Knopf's.
Other than the Clyde players on the field, they fooled everybody in the stadium. Excellent play call. I mean, you're not expecting the quick kick there, and the hustle of the team to get down there and really, you think about that. If they go for it on fourth and don't get it, you give them great field position. Instead, you have pinned them on the 3-yard line, making them have to go 97 yards.
And that's one of the looks we'll see. Their quarterback is the punter as well, so they do have that luxury.
And as a defense, you have to respect the potential of an offensive play being run.
An empty backfield here. Now setting a running back up and back in after that fumbles Coleman. They'll put Neary in motion. Here's the play fake. Little slant across the middle. Caught by Trey Talbot. Stumbling ahead to the 20. And that middle of the field, Ed, was all wide open. They were packing that box, trying to anticipate the run, and they were able to fool the Flyers.
And I love the quick release by Truss on that play. He took a 3-step, got rid of it right away. It's almost like he has an ex-NFL quarterback coaching him.
Boy, what a luxury that is, to have that kind of experience that you can just kind of pick apart the mind of Bruce Gradkowski. 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Third reception, Trey Talbot caught at the 27 yards after contact. Will add 3 more ahead to the 30. This offense starting to get in sync, get in rhythm, as there you see the first-year man on the sidelines. What a journey it's been for Bruce Gradkowski. June 15th, that's when he was officially announced on his radio show that he was taking over the job, vacated, of course, by Dan Chipka. And what a job Coach Dan Chipka did when he entered here. They had an 0-10 season, and every year he improved it, and the most wins they had was 6. But now Bruce Gradkowski chomping at the bit for his first head coaching job.
He is. And for those of you unfamiliar with Gradkowski, this is where he played his college career. He was a quarterback for the University of Toledo Rockets, went on, played 11 years in the NFL, and is back in Toledo coaching the St. Francis team tonight.
Able to just rumble ahead for a gain of 3 for Coleman. And, last time I looked, Bruce Gradkowski only held 24 records in the UT record book, so just a few.
Just a few of them. So you're saying he might understand the game. Understanding the game on a 3rd and 3, great counter play ran right there. Offensive line getting it, blocking it done, moving the chains to give us a first down for St. Francis.
Fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 at the 33. Truss looking so confident so far. This time, first look, we'll see Nate Smith, who went in motion to the far side. And now they'll send Coleman out of the backfield. Wasn't there for Truss. Truss will just flip it out of bounds. And that's so important for him, being a first-year starter now. Realized the option, the little swing pass wasn't there, and just threw it out of bounds out of harm's way.
Yeah, he had a defensive end coming. There was nobody to block him. It wasn't a missed assignment. They just overloaded the defense to the short side of the field, and he was wise enough not to take the sack. And you like seeing that he didn't panic. He didn't try to make a big play, which often, especially early on like this, can cost you a lot of yardage. To your point, great job. Get rid of the ball, create a 2nd and 10. Let your coach dial up another play for you.
This is a defense for Clyde that was 3rd best in the conference of the SBC River Division last year. 18.3 points per game allowed. Pulled back out of the belly, gonna fire it outside, going up, trying to make the grab. That was Myron Connor, in and out of the hands, and it drops incomplete.
It was a little high for Connor, but he did a great job. He high-pointed the ball. He got right up to where it was. He just wasn't able to pull it in. Again, I like that, they're moving Truss. They're not expecting him to just set back there, showing that he can throw the ball to the left. The first few completions have been to his right side. Sometimes you start looking for that as a defensive coordinator. Is a quarterback going to give you tendencies that you can overcome and, shut him down? So nice job to see him throwing the ball to the other side of the field.
Truss has a lot of size, 6'3", 220-pound senior for Coach Gradkowski. Here's 3rd and 10 from the 33. Truss going to try and run it. Pressure coming, flushed out of the pocket, and coming back, trying to come back to the ball, and this might be picked off. Waiting for the signal right at the sidelines, as that was right in front of the officials. Stepping in front was Brady Wilson.
The officials still kind of looking for a little bit of help because the defender did come down with the ball. The question is, did he get a foot down in bounds? And everything is looking there, talking it over. You do love to see that. If you're not sure, take time, talk it over, and let's figure it out. Truss threw the ball actually in a good spot, but the defender just doing a great job of actually positioning himself in front of the receiver coming back to the ball, and they are going to say that he was out of bounds. And so we're going to, St. Francis is going to live to have a third down play here.
And Truss is going to have to note that in his memory bank, Ed, because Brady Wilson, the leading DB in this secondary, 4 interceptions of a very aggressive secondary that forced 14 interceptions in only 10 games 1 season ago.
Yeah, hopefully, I do believe this may be 4th down. The yard marker is still showing 3rd down on the side of the field. St. Francis is
already broke the huddle,
up.
yeah.
And the Clyde coach is out on the field having a conversation with the officials, trying to get an answer.
And Ryan Carter, we mentioned in his 9th season, he's a Clyde guy through and through. Ball State graduate, played collegiately there in the Mid-American Conference. He played on a state runner-up team. Next year in '96, they won the state title, and he is very heated right now, wanting an explanation, and he's rightfully so, because it should be 4th down.
It should be, and the officials are showing 3rd down. They're holding up their hand. The sign says 3rd down, and Coach is highly upset, and understandably so, because when you think about it, this should be 4th down, and see if St. Francis can take advantage of the extra down they get here.
Going to throw it outside. That's Trey Talbot across midfield. Has a blocker in front to the 30, spun around and dragged down at the 25. And they will take the advantage of that missed opportunity. The prior play that was almost picked off by Brady Wilson, and Trey Talbot has been the focal point of this offense, his 4th reception in this opening quarter.
He really runs nice routes and gives Truss the opportunity to see his numbers. Truss is doing a nice job. He throws a really clean ball. They have hooked up now multiple times, and that one for a huge 1st down to move them down to the 25.
Just outside the red zone here. 2nd offensive possession here, and they have moved the ball effectively through the air. Led by Denham Truss. There's a high snap over his head. Going to race back, dive on top of it, and cover it up. So you look good on 1st and 10, and it goes from looking good and having an opportunity to 2nd and long.
Yeah, that and, man, reminiscence of the Cleveland-Pittsburgh playoff game last year. And the snap just going high over the quarterback's head, and, fortunately Truss doing the right thing, just runs back, falls on it. But my goodness, to lose that many yards on 1st down, to go from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 24.
A negative play, minus 14 yards. Chris Pace is the center here.
We see Coach Carter there still trying to help the line judge understand why that should have been 4th down on that play. And rightfully so, he's not wrong, and St. Francis is going to take a timeout here.
And we will step aside, take the break with them late in the 1st quarter of opening kickoff 2021. St. Francis ball when we come back.
Hey, King Midas, people should know we can service their whole car.
Yes. Tires, brakes, oil, everything.
Everything.
We must tell the people. And the people have been told.
Midas, always a touch better. Request an appointment today.
At Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we have you covered. We know life is full of adventures, daily tasks, good friends, and family activities. We also know nothing beats having the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle, your personality, and your budget. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Bighorn 4x4 for $329 per month or $219 with lease loyalty. Make this the summer event and let Charlie's help you find your next new vehicle.
Charlie's Dodge, doing it different, doing it right.
Hey, King Midas, people should know we can service their whole car.
Yes. Tires, brakes, oil, everything.
Everything.
We must tell the people. And the people have been told.
Midas, always a touch better. Request an appointment today.
Back inside the Glass Bowl, 2nd and 24 in week 1 here. St. Francis trying to get back on the same page. This time they'll run the little inside slant to the left side. Myron Connor this time to the, looks like the 32-yard line. But while we have a minute, more coverage than ever before here. If you're a fan, download the BCSN Now app available in the App Store and on the Google Play to stream live high school football with us each and every Friday night. 8 games tonight slated for us in our first week of coverage. Of course, Game Day Nation from 7 to 10:30, and then the overtime edition from 10:30 to 11 here. 3rd and 18. Truss dropping back, airing it out. Bobbled, and this was almost picked off. That was underthrown a little bit. Tried to connect with his tight end. That is Michael Parrish.
Yeah, and that one, again, like you said, he just put a little too much air under it for the number of defenders around the ball, and St. Francis fortunate not to turn that one over. Truss taking a pretty big shot after releasing that ball, and Clyde a little fortunate there not to get flagged because the back judge was looking at it, and he's like, boy, dude, and it was, I'm glad he kept his flag in his pocket, but it was close, and we'll see St. Francis lining up for a 4th and 18. Obviously, this part of the field too long for a field goal, a little bit of a headwind. Just try to get some yardage here.
Gonna go quick here. Truss. Quick 3-step drop, tried to slide it through a tight window intended for Myron Connor. There was double coverage there, but Connor did a good job getting behind that secondary. He had about a half a step.
He did. He got behind it. It looked like in that play they were running what's called a man cover 2. So there's man coverage in the first few, and we've got a flag on the field here. Not sure what that is representing. If that was, looks like it must have come after the play.
Brady Wilson again there. That's his second time on the coverage in this opening first quarter for the Clyde Fliers.
Yeah, excellent coverage. And Clyde, coach didn't get his way on the 4th down call, but at the end of the day, no harm, no foul, no points come off of that because his defense was able to step up.
His offense trots back on the field, taking over on the turnover on downs. 1st and 10. From their own 32-yard line with under 3 minutes to go on this opening quarter. Zips it outside, and it's complete to Wilson. On the tight coverage there, it was Dixon. Not giving Wilson time to turn and try and make a move upfield.
Yeah, great coverage. Nice out route, though, a real quick hitter. Similar to an inside slant, an out route. You're able to get the ball out there. You hope your receiver can turn shoulder and make extra yards, but good defensive play there.
4-man front for the defense. And Daniels tripped up, didn't have a chance to try and accelerate and get up to his top speed as he was stopped at the 40-yard line. And it will bring up 3rd and manageable here. 3rd and 3 for the Flyers.
You mentioned about some of these running backs for Clyde, and so far St. Francis able to keep, the tailbacks at bay and not let them get, break away for a big one yet.
Needing a 3rd down stop here to try and stop the drive. Daniels give right side, able to get out in space across the 47. They needed 3. They pick up 7 on 3rd and 3.
First time we've seen Daniels go to the outside. He's been running between the tackles, and you got to believe we're going to see more of that, as that was a very productive play.
And they are back up to the line, ready to go yet again. And just getting off, we saw running out Dominic Coleman getting off the field. This is where you have to be careful. They've been run. Now they're going to throw it here, and it's complete at midfield. Turning the corner, has the angle, and dragged out of bounds. They'll call him out at the 35-yard line on the quick grab out in space. First catch here for Griffin Knopfs of the new season.
Knopfs did a great job, but Lozer, number 3, gave him the block he needed. That's really what allowed that play to get the extra yards. As soon as he caught the ball, Lozer was right on the locking up on the cornerback and sprung him for those extra yardage.
Knopfs last year, 30 receptions for 586 yards, as there goes Lozier in motion. Under a minute and a half to go. Pocket collapsing. And there on the sack breaking through is Tim Zale from his linebacking position. There is a penalty marker right in the middle of the field at the 40.
It looks like a holding, so Clyde not only not able to stop the defensive front, doing whatever they can to try to slow him down, and the defensive front for St. Francis, very impressed right now.
And that's where a lot of experience comes in. Javon Toyer, the most experienced player. You got Keon Holston, Brian King as well on that defensive line. And on the assists there, it was Sam Malfont as they march off the yards after the penalty back to the 49-yard line on the side of the Clyde Fliers with just a tad over a minute to go here in this first quarter of play that has been dominated by both teams' defenses so far.
Early in the season, defense has a little bit of the advantage. Offenses, it takes a little bit to get going, but both defenses looking good because both offenses have had some opportunity to make some plays.
Out of the pistol, Daniels, they get a hold of his left hand, and he will go ahead and lunge forward to the 44-yard line where he is taken down.
Yeah, nice gain on that play, except when it's 1st and 25. You need to get some pretty big chunks pretty quickly.
2nd and 20 with under a minute to go here. And they will move the receiver. That is Olsen here on the near side. Move him a little bit closer. They pull it out. Here's Cook putting it up for grabs and coming down with the catch, dropping it right in the bucket. Brady Wilson with a 44-yard reception and laying out.
Well, you ask sometimes why you only send one receiver deep, and that's why, because Wilson got separation, and then the quarterback just threw it so far out in front of him with so much air under it, he had time to run under it with no other defenders in the area to come over and break up the play. He beat the back, and he was able to come down with it to give a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
That's the biggest play here so far. Give right tackle Daniels breaking through. Touchdown, Clyde. It was set up, the long pass to Brady Wilson, and then able to fight on through for the first scores, McDaniels. Daniels, his first rushing touchdown of the season. He contributed 16 rushing scores a season ago.
Well, I'll tell you what, he only needed a yard, but that was one of the nicest holes he's seen on between the tackles tonight as they really opened that up for him, and he was able to walk into the end zone.
On for the PAT attempt here is McCoy Dickman.
That encroachment by the defense, see if that changes what the coach wants to do. If he continues to set up for the extra point.
A nice looking drive by Jaden Cook, excuse me.
Yeah, at one point, you know, St. Francis sacks the quarterback, gets a holding call, puts Clyde into a 1st and 25. They were able to overcome that. You know, they had the nice run by Daniels on 1st down and then just open it up and beat the defensive deep to, you know, put that ball down on the 1-yard line. Really nice job overcoming some down and distance that you don't want to face when you're an offensive coordinator.
And Dickman, the senior kicker, on for the extra point attempt here. Good snap, good looking hold, and just enough, and it's good. So Clyde able to tack on the PAT attempt after the deep pass down the field to the 1-yard line. 44-yard reception by Brady Wilson. It set up the 1-yard rushing score for Michael Daniels. The Flyers on top late in the first.
Deciding what you're going to do after high school is stressful. I mean, really stressful. Plus, I'm going to pay for college on my own. I looked at four-year schools, but they're way too expensive. That's why I confidently chose Owens. They offer so many programs and transfer options and helped me through the whole process. They answered all of my questions, and trust me, I had a lot. I have to say, I feel good about my decision.
Your success starts here. Owens Community College.
Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, where everyday moments make the best memories. Make this the summer event and let Groganstown help you find the perfect vehicle. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn 4x4 with remote start and 20-inch wheels for $299 per month or $239 per month with current owner lease loyalty. Stop in and reserve your next new vehicle at Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram or Groganstown.com. Over 700 available. Nobody treats you better.
Ooh, and a big, vicious hit in the open field at the 18-yard line, and that will amp up the defense, and the ball came loose. And carrying the ball off the field looked like Clark Norman after that hellacious hit that was just put on Andrew Tucker.
Tucker taking a shot. They're going to say that he was down before the ball popped out, so St. Francis will stay in control of it. But what a shot. He ran about 15 yards going sideways and to no avail other than getting his clock cleaned at the end of that one.
And I think Tucker was a little unsure. You kind of saw him when he realized he was in trouble slow up immediately, and he left himself a little vulnerable.
Never slow up.
1st and 10 from the 18 for the Knights here with 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. They go again to the out route and broken up on the coverage. Pass intended for his favorite target, Trey Talbot. Plummer there with the pass breakup on the coverage.
That was all Plummer because that ball was delivered on time and to his receiver where it needed to be. But just a great job of reaching in and stripping that ball away, making it fall to the turf to create a 2nd and 10.
St. Francis has been able to move the ball, but the problem that they've had, they started back at their own 3-yard line. They're back inside their own 20 for the 2nd straight possession. Talbot in the slot, in the belly of Coleman. Coleman able to stop and restart ahead to the 22-yard line to bring us to the conclusion of the first quarter. The defenses set the tone here, but then the long, lengthy 67-yard drive, 8 plays, the big play, Brady Wilson from Jaden Cook, the 44-yard reception, and then capped off by a 1-yard score by Daniels.
There's a special place on Cherry Street that excels at being central to life. It's a place that has remained a cornerstone of the Toledo community for over 100 years. Rooted in its strong faith formation, academics in the classrooms, and energy in its many extracurricular activities. Come discover that special place, Central Catholic High School, central to life.
Get the #1 buy from the #1 guy, Dave White, Chevrolet. The best deal you will ever see, and standard equipment includes integrity. His reputation says it all. For the #1 buy from the #1 guy, the place to go is a Lexus and Monroe. Dave White, Chevrolet.
Find new roads. Visit DaveWhiteChevy.com.
A very interesting quarter for the first 10 minutes that was really controlled by both teams' defenses, and one play opened it up. That was the 44-yard pass down to the 1-yard line here, and kicking off the second quarter, Ed St. Francis faced with a 3rd and 7. There's the favorite hitter right there. That's Trey Talbot. Truss has plenty of protection. He launches downfield, overshoots his intended target. Trey Talbot, you could tell when they set him in motion that he was going to be the favorite target.
He was who they were going after, and Clyde, knowing that, they really didn't let him get any separation. And again, Truss, though, putting the ball where either his receiver catches it or it falls, to the turf. And you don't want to line up and punt, especially when your punter's heels are on the 5-yard line, but better than an interception for sure.
St. Francis still trying to figure out that run game. Of course, Stephen McCoy transferred his senior season from St. Francis to Whitmer, and after last night's performance, they could have really used him 150-plus yards in his debut as a Panther against the Stark Spartans.
Yeah, he took the opening drive all the way in, pretty much on his back, and put it in the end zone, and he, took the starting job right away there. And, Coleman doing a nice job, and they just got to figure out the run game and what they're going to be able to do.
I thought the fair catch was called there. I saw that hand go up from Wilson, and there was avoidable contact there, and the penalties marker stays in the back pocket.
It was his own player that fell into his legs is why. And so the defender never hit him. It was his own player that fell back into him. So you are correct, though. He did put the fair catch sign up. So Clyde, who already in, a 7-point lead, has great field position for their first possession in the second quarter.
You talked to Jaden Cook, the second-year starter. He mentions his team of brotherhood, compared him to backyard football because that's where this team grew up playing. All these guys grew up playing in their neighborhoods with one another, and it shows with that chemistry they have on the field. And there's a blown assignment, and you saw that was Jarrett Mott, the safety on that side of the field. He had his hips turned inside, and that receiver got free.
I'll tell you, he got free. That play was incomplete because of the play of Javon Toyer in the middle of that defense. He took the offensive lineman and drove him back into the quarterback, that the quarterback could never get his feet set. If he'd have been able to set his feet and throw that ball a little tighter, that's a 6-point play for Clyde right there.
2nd and 10. An immediate contact by the linebacker, Tim Zale, the 5'8", 180-pound senior.
Zale doing a nice job. Again, that defensive front looking very impressive. Other than giving up the one big play, they've done a nice job of not letting Clyde get anything going.
Especially Daniels, who rushed for 1,275 yards in an abbreviated season at that. Press coverage here on the bottom of your screen. Playing that coverage is Dixon. They'll send the tight end Greenslade in motion. 3rd and 9 from the 47. Cook just throwing it out of bounds because he had a defender in his face, and again, it was big Toyer. Toyer, of course, that 255-pound body frame.
He really does a nice job of moving that offensive line and just getting, you can see he's a low-built individual to begin with, and he does a nice job of getting under the offensive lineman. As an offensive lineman, you never want to give them that position because he's got the strength to lift and drive back, and so far, that drive, he created some havoc, causing Clyde to have to line up in punt formation here.
The Knights defense able to quickly get off the field, and Andrew Tucker waiting for the punt at his own 20. And this is a high, booming punt. Tucker having to backpedal to the 15 and go down on 2 knees to the turf to control it. What a difference, though, Ed, having a huge leg in special teams can make and change the field position.
It really, and you look at the last 2 series, and that's exactly St. Francis. Even if they don't get it in the end zone here, they've got to flip the field because right now they're playing on their half of the field, and only good things happen for Clyde when that happens. And so St. Francis, it's okay. Establish a drive here, get something going, get the ball on the other side of the 50, and see if you can't punch in some points.
They will start again inside their own 20 this time. At their own 16. Just 1:07 so far off the second quarter clock. Empty backfield here for Denham Truss. Truss, just a quick drop, able to get rid of it to Trey Talbot, who is racking up the receptions here in this first half.
St. Francis trying to give Truss a little bit of extra protection there because there were 4 wides, nobody in the backfield, but the quote-unquote tight end had a 70 on his jersey, and just a big guy, putting an extra lineman in there, trying to get a little extra protection. But Truss always is kind of a little bit under distress when he's throwing that ball.
You know who Truss kind of reminds me of? I'm going to stick in the Mid-American Conference back when Mr. Gradkowski played in the conference. Byron Leftwich from Marshall has that just arm where you can throw the ball a country mile.
Yeah, he's a big-bodied guy. We see a flag come in here.
It's going to be an encroachment on the defense here, so free yardage will automatically move the chains.
Free yardage and a free first down. St. Francis says thank you very much, and they'll line up. I couldn't agree with you more, though, Leftwich, because if you notice with Truss, there's times he's throwing that ball, and it's all arm. He just winds up and lets it go, and throws a pretty nice ball. A couple of those, because of the footwork, get away from him.
There's the play action. This thrown a little bit low. Talbot got that left hand on it, but he took a bump coming from the middle to the near side of the field.
We see Gradkowski talking to Truss over here. A lot of the plays coming in, it's a one-on-one like that, and he carries it back into the huddle. See what he dials up here on a 2nd and 10.
St. Francis last season had success in the postseason, upsetting one of the biggest upsets in the playoffs in the area. Coach Brungard's team out at Anthony Wayne, a slugfest 10-7 victory, kind of one of the biggest wins of the Dan Chipka era during his time. High snap, Truss able to make the adjustment, immediately gives off the right side. That was the carry to Coleman.
Got a flag, came in right as the ball was being snapped. We'll have to see. Came in from the line judge, see what call we get here.
And I believe that last penalty that gave St. Francis a first down was the first penalty we've seen by this experienced defense of the Clyde Fliers.
You are correct. That was the first one. They've played a clean first quarter, and up to this point, they are talking with Clyde's coaching staff there to see if they want to move him back, and they
are. Saw the chain gang on the far side of the field marching off that yardage. It will be 2nd and 15 after the penalty marker is assessed. This drive started from their own 16. They were starting to move it very nicely. Let's see how they respond here after the penalty. Coming here 2nd and 15. They'll have trips here on the bottom near side of the screen for Truss. Truss has all kinds of time, lets it go. This is intercepted. Intercepted right at midfield. They will not take this one away. And terrific coverage with the interception for William Lozier.
Lozier doing a good job of reading Truss's eyes. That was the first mistake, big mistake I've seen Truss make tonight. The entire time, he had a 3-by-1 set, 3 receivers on his left, 1 to the right. He never took his eyes off the right side of the field. He had one-on-one. The coverage was good, but the safety didn't even pay attention to the 3 on the wide side of the field. Just shifted right over, was able to take that one away. Great job by the safety reading that. Unfortunately, Unfortunate for St. Francis, Clyde has great field position to start this drive.
Just shy of midfield, right at the 49-yard line. And this is a secondary. We mentioned the success they had last year. 14 interceptions. They have their first of the season. And a stiff arm and a spin across midfield to the 45-yard line. A gain of 5 on first down. Bring up 2nd and 4. They call it a 6-yard gain as they're quickly to the line.
They came up quick to the line. Coach Carter told us we would see balance between the run and the passing game. And you just feel like Daniels is one of those backs that's going to continue to get stronger as this game goes on, because he really looks good carrying the ball in between tackles.
2nd and 4. This complete to the outside to Olsen. And they are glad to have Caden Olsen back. Suffered an early season injury last year. You already have 3 wide receivers that have 30 or more receptions, and then you add Caden Olsen into the mix. It's just another talented player in this offense.
Yeah, and he did a really good job. That ball landed right at the yard marker. Matter of fact, they're going to bring the sticks in to measure this one to see if he did get the first down or not.
Going to be very close at the 41-yard line. And we will have an official measurement coming here.
St. Francis has done they've played well. The defense has done a great job to this point. But you just kind of have that feeling like Clyde's offense is about to hit stride. There's just something, the crisp way they're coming up to the line, the way they're coming off the ball. You just get that feel that this offense that did get the first down, so they got a fresh set of downs at the 41-yard line. You just feel like they're getting ready to kind of, really start putting some of these drives together.
That's that confidence, that swag, being able to play together last year, already having that chemistry. You're able to have a full offseason this year, unlimited, no contact period in play this season because of last year, the offseason being pretty much eliminated and then no conference games.
And they had 2 scrimmages going into tonight's game.
A lot of movement up front.
Everyone
a lot of finger pointing.
Everyone except the center.
And it's a false start against the offense here. First penalty on the offensive side of things for the Clyde Fliers tonight. What a magical year it was in 2019 for the Clyde Fliers and Coach Carter's team. They started off 5-1. They lost 3 straight, entered the final week hovering. They were the 11th spot in the playoff rankings as Plummer gets his first carry and will pick up a minimal 2 yards, but needed to win against their rival, Bellevue. They did that, but then they had to wait. They needed some help. And all those teams that were ahead of them ended up losing. That was 2 teams. They were able to sneak their way in the playoffs and then really do some damage, upsetting Keystone and then winning a state championship. And again, some movement up front, but a magical season. It's only happened twice in the history of OHSA football where the 8th seed has went on to win a state title. They were the 2nd team to do just that.
Yeah, it was an incredible season. Not sure, unless they had an equipment issue or something there. There was no flag. They stopped the play right as the ball was snapped, and number 51 for St. Francis had to come off the field. Pace coming off, and see if he goes back out. Not sure what that was. No foul or anything, but Clyde's offense resets and gets ready to snap the ball again.
Looks like they are in sync after the last possession, which resulted in a touchdown here. Fighting forward, that push coming from the offensive line for Daniels.
Yeah, going back to that season you were talking about, though, to go from the 8th seed, like you said, you need a lot of help. They trailed big in 2 of those playoff games, and then after that, they thought they were going to run into some teams, but again, you talk about swagger, you talk about just having that unified confidence, and that's what they had, and it carried them all the way through to a state title.
Knocking off the number 1 seed Keystone and then upsetting Shelby en route to a state championship. All kinds of time for Cook. He's going to turn into a runner, has daylight in front of him to the 40, makes a move to the 30. 1 man to beat, and he's caught from behind. A good-looking, patient run. Went through all of his progressions. None of them were there. Tucked the football away, made the best decision.
He really did. And, sometimes as a receiver, it's not what you do catching the ball. That time, Caden Olsen, number 7, who was out on this side, he continued to stay in route. And because it was man coverage, the defender never turned to see that the quarterback was running with the ball.
Lewis Walker was the last defender there, and a gang tackle, chest taking Daniels down. A blockade for the defense.
Yeah, St. Francis so far in this first half has to be impressed with their interior defensive line. I know I am.
Yes.
These guys are moving the offensive line off the ball. They're staying home. They're in position. They're tackling. They've really done a nice job not letting Daniels open it up between the tackles. He's had a couple of good runs outside. Clyde, I'm taking the ball outside the tackles and letting Daniels open up a few.
2nd and 10 inside the red zone here for Jaden Cook and company. There's the pump fake. Wide open across the middle. And this is off the left hand. All wide open. That was Griffin Knopf, who tried to reach out and extend for the ball.
Knopf is going, please let me do that again. The quarterback could not. You just see he put such a nice touch on the ball. He didn't fire it in there hard or anything, just a nice touch. And the receiver, and that's so easy to do. You see the ball and you're wide open, and you just pause your step for a moment, and that's all it takes, and the ball falls to the ground, creating a 3rd and 10.
Rolling out to his left, coming back off his back foot. Intended for Wilson. Wilson already with that big 44-yard reception, and it brings up 4th and 10 here, almost at the midway portion of the second quarter.
Got to believe we're going to see an offensive play run here. Makes total sense on this 4th down.
Little late adjustments by the secondary for St. Francis. Got that one safety high up top, right in the middle of the field. That's back at the 8-yard line.
See if they give Cook a run pass option here on this 4th down.
And they're going to want to take the time to talk it over. We will step away as well. Clyde looking to extend their drive in St. Francis territory when we come back.
There's a special place on Cherry Street that excels at being central to life. It's a place that has remained a cornerstone of the Toledo community for over 100 years. Rooted in its strong faith formation, academics in the classrooms, and energy in its many extracurricular activities. Come discover that special place, Central Catholic High School, central to life.
Get the #1 buy from the #1 guy, Dave White, Chevrolet. The best deal you will ever see. And standard equipment includes integrity. His reputation says it all. For the #1 buy from the #1 guy. The place to go is a Lexus and Monroe. Dave White, Chevrolet.
Find new roads. Visit DaveWhiteChevy.com.
7-0, the Clyde Fliers leading on the road inside the Glass Bowl. Be sure to catch Sports Nightly each and every night at 10:30 p.m. on BCSN and join Mark, Britt, and Joel for the latest stories and highlights from Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. That's Sports Nightly every single night at 10:30. Boy, they had the look they wanted, had to play drawn up and throwing back across his body to the opposite side of the field, did Jaden Cook.
That plays, if Cook rolls left, that's completed. That is such a hard throw to be rolling right and throw all the way across the body. Receiver did a great job just staying in route and creating separation, and Cook was close.
The bend but don't break mentality by this defense. Chalk it up on the checklist. They stepped up to the party, got a stop here when they needed one in the red zone.
Couldn't agree more. Great job. If you're St. Francis, you got to use that right now to get some energy and momentum. Your team's a little flat-footed. You got to use that to get this offensive spark.
Let's see how Truss responds after the interception. They're going to go the slant inside. The defender fell down. It allowed Myron Connor to make the uncontested grab to the 31.
Connor was one shoestring away from breaking that one. Defender doing a great job of, at the last second, grabbing that. I love him going back to that quick slant, though. It's been there all night. They kind of got away from it. Go back to it until Clyde takes that away from you.
1st and 10 for the Knights from the 31-yard line. Here's the give inside and breaking free out to the second level. Great balance, great body control by Javon Coleman, and that's what he needed to give himself a little extra shot in the arm.
He did, and if you notice, he was so clean through the line, he was almost surprised. He was ready to take contact at the linebacker level, and there was none, and he was like, oh, I'm still going, and great job of getting the first down and moving the chains.
Give that offensive line Chris Pace, Michael Sapara, the offensive line giving him a nice looking, a clean hole to run through here. Swing pass wasn't there, and this is a nice reception. to the near sidelines for Myron Connor now with 2 receptions on this drive, and that is enough for a fresh set of downs. This offense going a little bit more hurry up here, and they're moving the ball very quickly without using a lot of clock.
Yeah, Connor, great job there, given his numbers. It was a quick curl route and gave Truss his numbers, and Truss putting the ball right there, and another first down, and they are across the 50-yard line for the first time in quite a while.
Truss is so dangerous when he has both feet set in the pocket. Offensive line giving great protection. And you see Makai Smith, that motion man, and there's the ball loose on the ground. Diving for it to keep the possession alive is Coleman. A little exchange issue between Truss and himself that bounced off the old belly.
It's a little bit of why we haven't seen St. Francis in the end zone. Each drive, it doesn't seem like much, but there's these little misses, these little hiccups. There again, just a poor exchange between the center quarterback. Ball ends up on the ground, and instead of it being, at the chains or where you want to be, you're now at a 2nd and 13.
Trying to get back to their game plan here after the 3-yard lost ball right at midfield here. With 5:15 to go in the first half, they were showing pressure, Clyde was, on that far side, and now they will bring pressure from the edge, and again going back near side to Myron Connor, who had to elevate.
Connor doing a nice job of pulling that ball down. Kind of not a great route. It was a little bit sloppy. Fortunately, the defender was back on his heels and wasn't able to get to him, so able to gain 5, make a 3rd and manageable, but you got to believe they're in 2-down territory here as well.
3rd and 7. From the 44-yard line of the Clyde Fliers. They have press coverage here on Myron Connor. Trips on the far side. Talbot, boy, that's a live football. Had that arm deflected, and Talbot running back and covering it up very tight.
Was his arm, I didn't see, did his arm get hit or did the ball just come out when he was throwing it?
I think it came out when he was trying to throw it.
I think so, but because the ball went backwards, regardless, it's a live ball. And wow, what should have, you hate to see that again. They started getting a spark. You know what they went away from is that quick tempo. And just let that quick tempo happen, because these guys really seem to be in a groove when they were living there. Instead, they're lining up to punt.
That might be the identity, a team that's still trying to figure and find out their ways. I think that is indeed their style. They're very comfortable, very loose, very relaxed, going and playing up-tempo.
Yeah, because they've got the ability to execute the plays, and when they're executing them, they're moving the ball. It's just those little mishaps, that they're stopping themselves on. And so Clyde's going to see, with 4:45 here left in the first half, if they can take time off the clock, put a drive together, and put some more points on the board before half.
Just 1 touchdown on the board so far, and that was the difference maker in the first quarter. A 67-yard drive that went on 8 plays. Looking for another lengthy drive here that hopefully, if you're the Clyde Fliers, will eat up the duration of this 4:45 to go in the opening first half of play. Cook has looked so poised so far. Throws up a rainbow. Bringing it down is Wilson. And he will come up and show the referees the football. Just terrific touch put on the ball by Jaden Cook.
Cook's really starting to feel it. You can just tell, because that one, there was decent coverage there. But again, put the ball right where it needed to be. Clyde getting up to the line quickly here.
And Wilson has had 2 great receptions, and that's really all it's been, Ed, is those 2 big plays so far. The 44-yard reception from Cook to Wilson, and now that one, bringing him across midfield. Slowed up by bumping into his own offensive line for a second was Daniels, as Daniels, though, just powering through, ripping up ahead into the 38-yard line.
Yeah, St. Francis defensive front cannot be tired here. They've got to step up to the call here right before half.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard gain. Wilson will come to the opposite side here in the slot. Cook Looking again, and the receiver has a step, and it's bobbled. Did he come down with the grab? And it's Wilson again. Are you kidding me? My, oh my.
Just an excellent job. They found something they like there. Good coverage. He's just able to high point that ball and go up and get it over the defender's head and bring it in, and they are in business on the 7-yard line with a fresh set of downs.
And it's only taken a minute and 15 seconds now here on this drive. And Wilson has made 2 big grabs on this drive, and he will get a well-deserved quick hitter on the sidelines. First and goal from the 7. They'll bring in the big fullback here with an opening. Just blasting his way to the 1-yard line on the first carry that we've seen for Dylan Overmeyer.
Dylan Overmeyer doing a good job, and normally you'd think fullback between the tackles, tailback outside, but this time they give it to him on a jet sweep look. You know, kind of unique for a fullback, but he does a nice job, and you got to believe we're going to see Daniels get the ball here between tackles, but that was a fresh wrinkle there for the Clyde Fliers because defensive front's been solid so far for St. Francis.
Tight formation here. And you mentioned Overmeyer. He is there on the protection. Uncontested, untouched. Michael McDaniels fighting his way in for Clyde as they have their second score of the game and make it a 2-possession lead.
Yeah, you know, if you're St. Francis, you're really hoping to be able to take a 7-0 deficit into the locker room as opposed to a 14-0 because now you're going, oh, we're scrambling. But there are 2.5 minutes left on the clock, so let's see what Coach Gradkowski dials up once they kick off the ball.
The PAT attempt has plenty of leg behind it. It took 2 minutes and 9 seconds for the Flyers to march their way down the field. It's capped off by the second rushing score by Michael Daniels. Clyde enjoying a 2-touchdown advantage.
Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, where everyday moments make the best memories. Make this the summer event and let Groganstown help you find the perfect vehicle. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Bighorn 4x4 with Hemi and remote start for $229 per month or $189 per month with current owner lease loyalty. Stop in and reserve your next new vehicle at Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram or Groganstown.com. Over 700 available. Nobody treats you better.
Sometimes, when things seem stressful, it can feel like you're all alone. Hey, I'm Here is a youth-led community that was created to talk about mental wellness. Our team is full of young people like you that are sharing their stories, all to let you know that you are not alone. We provide a safe digital space to share stories, offer encouragement, and to help others find resources available to them in Ohio. No matter where you are, we're here for you. Connect with us and join the conversation at heyimhere.org.
Mott fumbled the kickoff, picked it up at his own 12 and was able to get a quick surge up to speed to the 25-yard line. Now we'll get a look here with 2:30 at St. Francis's 2-minute drill coming here, trailing by 2 scores before the end of the first half. How about the talent on display from this wide receiving core? Of course, the accuracy that we saw on that throw, the touch that Cook put on it, but Brady Wilson has had terrific receptions all night long that have been big chunk plays.
And the last 2 were contested. The defender was there.
Missed tackle, unable to wrap up Myron Connor. And Connor has been a nice compliment to Trey Talbot. Of course, Connor, the 6'3", 175-pound junior. And they have a lot of trust in him already in this offense.
They do, and we do see the offense back on the ball quickly like we thought we would.
From the 41, second play of the drive, the pump fake. Trust's going to try and run it. Steps over a defender, lowers his head, and he will have enough on the gain of 13. How about the moves for Denham Truss?
And in the decision, it was the decision not to throw it when the receiver was covered. He saw that he was going to potentially get picked off again. Pulls it down, gets a first down. Nice run with the ball, too, by the way. Big man's got a little bit of moves there.
Good footwork, was able to high step it over that defender and avoid that shoestring tackle here. And they are in Clyde territory here very quickly. That clock, though, running down very quickly on this first half. 1:40 to go. Play clock now at 2. They get it off just in time. On the edge, pressure was there. The missed tackle. Boy, you saw the defense was even fooled on that fake. They were reading that ball all the way in the stomach of Coleman.
Yeah, it was a nice job. It was, the option to give, but then also the RPO for Truss after he pulled it out. And nice job of getting what he could and knowing to get out of bounds. And so that was as critical in a situation like that. You're not going to gain a ton more yards if you stay in bounds. So nice job of stopping the clock.
And this is where it obviously gets a little bit more difficult. The closer you get to that goal line, less real estate you have to work with here. You hear this St. Francis crowd starting to come to life. Get behind their team here late in this first half. Just over a minute and a half to go. Truss across the middle of the field, complete on the grab, able to cradle this one was Myron Connor again on that inside slant. That's the 4th time they've been able to hook up.
And Truss threw that one on a rope. He put some heat on that thing. And they are, they got 2 timeouts left, but they're getting close to being inside a minute here.
3rd and 1 this time from the 38. 1:05 to go. Truss, pump fakes, going to turn it upfield. He took a hellacious bump, able to stay on his feet and barrel his way to the 35.
So the clock will stop for Coach Gradkowski's going to use a timeout wisely here. I was going to say clock will stop to move the chains, but then it starts right away.
We will keep it here on the timeout here with 59 seconds to go. What a beautiful evening it turned out inside the Glass Bowl. I was worried after yesterday. Temperatures were 91 degrees. The humidity was through the roof, and it looked like we were headed that way again, but there is a tremendous breeze right in front of us now here inside the Glass Bowl.
There's a great breeze, and what a turnout for the St. Francis team. These stands are, we are in the Glass Bowl, and it doesn't feel empty. There are a lot of bodies in here. Clyde, look at the turnout Clyde had coming all the way from their hometown to be here tonight. It is, I think people are so excited to have the opportunity. You see the student section there.
Well, if I would have known it was going to be jersey time, I would have thrown on a couple of throwbacks. Saw a Tom Brady, University of Michigan jersey, a Barry Sanders jersey. There you see everybody wearing and supporting their favorite teams. Several OSU jerseys, of course. And I see, is that that's a Pittsburgh Steelers. I know you're approving of that. There's the
Not only that, that's a Deani Johnson who played his college career here in the Glass Bowl.
Slated for a big breakout season. There's a low snap picked up on the bounce by Coleman. Coleman is just pummeled from behind and just dropped immediately dead in his tracks by Bulger.
Boy, and that just took so much time off the clock, though, and you look at what's going on here, and
the receiver that was downfield, which was Connor, had to come all the way back in precious seconds coming off the clock. At the 34, Truss, plenty of protection. Zips it across the middle, tipped up in the air, and Bulger almost had a chance. And Overmeyer was the one after the tip who tried to dive and come up with the second takeaway.
And fortunately, Talbot actually became the defender on that play and knocked that ball, jarred it loose, or this chance for a drive and points before the half would have been over. You're tough now. You've got 1 timeout left. You've got a 3rd and long. You're 35. Truss's passes over the middle. They've been contested pretty much every one. I'd love to see a streak route out to the outside and just try to throw a fade into the corner.
3rd and 8.
Clyde's going to take a timeout. They saw maybe exactly what we were talking about as Talbot came across the formation and was getting ready to streak down the near sideline. And Clyde quickly calls a timeout so they can reset their defense.
Tonight's high school football on BCSN is presented by Dave White Chevrolet, the place to go is Alexis Salmon Rowe, and by Burger King. Of course, my favorite thing off that BK menu right now, Ed, I don't know if you're a big chicken sandwich guy. It's the war of who has the best fast food chicken sandwich. And I'll tell you what, for your buck, the Cha-King from Burger King Spicy, the way to go. That's where I went last night, our friends at Burger King, and I got a Ka-Ching. I got the last one, so I was happy. I was happy.
You were happy. I have not done the chicken sandwich. I may have to try it. I'm a Whopper guy. Whopper, no onion, bring it on. And they always have a great deal on 2 for 1, you know, or and just a great place to go and grab a burger, or, to your recommendation, a chicken sandwich after the game.
Well, now that I've made both of us hungry here before halftime, 3rd and 8 here for the St. Francis DeSales Knights, looking to get a score on the board here. What does Coach Gradkowski have drawn up here? Truss throws it. This is just airmailed through the hands of his intended target, Myron Connor, and now it's gut check time here for this offense. Trying to get back within 1 score before the end of the first half expires. And this is what I like here. Coach Gradkowski taking his time, bringing his first-year starter, Denham Truss, over to him. Now he'll relay the play in and head back to the sidelines.
He's went to Connor a few times. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back to Telbu. Down here, he's at the bottom of your screen. Watch him try to do a fly route and just toss one up to him.
They need 8 here. 3rd, 4th, and 8. He uncorks it, sidelines, and it's broken up on the coverage again. Is Brady Wilson. His second pass breakup.
Doing it on both sides of the ball. He's caught the 2 big ones in there. That one was all on him because that ball was on target, and Connor was getting ready to come down with that ball. And instead, Wilson sticks his hand in, breaks up that pass, and we'll see if Clyde is willing to just maybe, you know, do a quick, easy handoff here, or maybe even just take a knee to take their 14-point lead into the locker room at half.
The way this offense has been clicking, especially late in half. And there you see they are in kneel down situation to let the clock expire here. They're content to take a 2-touchdown advantage into the locker room. It has been a battle here inside the glass bowl, Ed.
Really has, and we've seen both defenses doing a great job stepping up when they needed to. I would say, in my mind, the difference in the game, it's been St. Francis offensive miscues. They've gotten some drives together. They've gotten some things moving, but they've kind of shot themselves in the foot a few times to create this 14-0 score.
2-touchdown lead for Clyde. That man right there, a big reason why. Brady Wilson, a 44-yard reception. Then he set up the other score at the other end for his counterpart, Michael Daniels. Another grab into Knights territory. And then the interception, the pass breakup, right before the end of the first half. Clyde on top, 14-0 at the half.
Hey, King Midas, people should know we can service their whole car.
Yes. Tires, brakes, oil, everything. Everything. We must tell the people. And the people have been told.
Midas, always a touch better. Request an appointment today.
At Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we have you covered. We know life is full of adventures, daily tasks, good friends, and family activities. We also know nothing beats having the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle, your personality, and your budget. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Bighorn 4x4 for $329 per month or $219 with lease loyalty. Make this the summer event and let Charlie's help you find your next new vehicle.
Charlie's Dodge, doing it different, doing it right.
Hey, King Midas, people should know we can service their whole car.
Yes. Tires, brakes, oil, everything. Everything. We must tell the people. And the people have been told.
Midas, always a touch better. Request an appointment today.
2 touchdowns for senior running back Michael Daniels. The difference maker has the Clyde Fliers leading their season opener. Halftime festivities underway inside the Glass Bowl. First up on the field, it's the Clyde Fliers marching band. Let's take a listen in to their halftime performance.
Back in the 60s, it will be instantly recognizable by many of our folks in the audience tonight. Here's that Mick Jagger and Keith Richards hit, Painted Black.
Is the performance for the Clyde Fliers cheering on their team, who's up 2 scores at the half. We'll step away, and when we come back, we'll take a listen in to the St. Francis DeSales marching band. 14-0 your score at the half. Flyers on top.
Deciding what you're going to do after high school is stressful. I mean, really stressful. Plus, I'm going to pay for college on my own. I looked at 4-year schools, but they're way too expensive. That's why I confidently chose Owens. They offer so many programs and transfer options and helped me through the whole process. They answered all of my questions, and trust me, I had a lot. I have to say, I feel good about my decision.
Your success starts here. Owens Community College.
Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, where everyday moments make the best memories. Make this the summer event and let Groganstown help you find the perfect vehicle. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn 4x4 with remote start and 20-inch wheels for $299 per month or $239 per month with current owner lease loyalty. Stop in and reserve your next new vehicle at Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram or Groganstown.com. Over 700 available. Nobody treats you better.
There's a special place on Cherry Street that excels at being central to life. It's a place that has remained a cornerstone of the Toledo community for over 100 years. Rooted in its strong faith formation, academics in the classrooms, and energy in its many extracurricular activities. Come discover that special place, Central Catholic High School, central to life.
Get the #1 buy from the #1 guy, Dave White, Chevrolet. The best deal you will ever see. And standard equipment includes integrity. His reputation says it all. For the #1 buy from the #1 guy. The place to go is a Lexus and Monroe. Dave White, Chevrolet.
Find new roads. Visit DaveWhiteChevy.com.
Cheer on the band.
Francis DeSales Marching Band on the field now for their halftime performance. Trying to get the crowd into it and rally the troops here for a second half run. Let's take a listen in. St. Francis trailing by 2 touchdowns. Still plenty of time to go. We'll come back out to the Glass Bowl with second half action when we return.
There's a special place on Cherry Street that excels at being central to life. It's a place that has remained a cornerstone of the Toledo community for over 100 years. Rooted in its strong faith formation, academics in the classrooms, and energy in its many extracurricular activities. Come discover that special place, Central Catholic High School, central to life.
Get the #1 buy from the #1 guy, Dave White, Chevrolet. The best deal you will ever see. And standard equipment includes integrity. His reputation says it all. For the #1 buy from the #1 guy. The place to go is Alexis and Monroe. Dave White, Chevrolet.
Find new roads. Visit DaveWhiteChevy.com.
At Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we have you covered. We know life is full of adventures, daily tasks, good friends, and family activities. We also know nothing beats having the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle, your personality, and your budget. Lease the all-new 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee El Laredo 4x4 for $429 per month. Make this the summer event and let Charlie's help you find your next new vehicle.
Charlie's Dodge, doing it different, doing it right.
Mercy Health is the official healthcare provider of the OHSAA and a proud partner of St. Francis DeSales School. Let's give a shout out and recognize the sports medicine team providing care to the Knights student athletes. Athletic trainers are Alicia, Lassie, and Sean Tilley. And team physician, Dr. Jason Smith. The St. Francis Athletic Boosters Club will be hosting again their annual reverse raffle tomorrow night at St. Francis, and tickets are still available online. We invite you to join us at 6 p.m. for food, drinks, and games, and we raise funds to support all St. Francis student athletes. Tickets are available online at sfsrr.org. That's SFS, the letters RR.org.
Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, where everyday moments make the best memories. Make this the summer event and let Groganstown help you find the perfect vehicle. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Bighorn 4x4 with Hemi and remote start for $229 per month or $189 per month with current owner lease loyalty. Stop in and reserve your next new vehicle at Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram or Groganstown.com. Over 700 available. Nobody treats you better.
Sometimes, when things seem stressful, it can feel like you're all alone. Hey, I'm Here is a youth-led community that was created to talk about mental wellness. Our team is full of young people like you that are sharing their stories, all to let you know that you are not alone. We provide a safe digital space to share stories, offer encouragement, and to help others find resources available to them in Ohio. No matter where you are, we're here for you. Connect with us and join the conversation at heyimhere.org.
High school football on BCSN is presented by Burger King and by Central Catholic High School. Central to athletics, central to life. Back inside the Glass Bowl, week 1, halfway complete. Tim Clegg alongside Ed Bellner here. Still very much on the line here in this rematch from a 2019 game, a 2-score game. You eliminate a couple of big plays given up by St. Francis's defense, and we might have ourselves a stalemate.
Absolutely. And, you know, hopefully they had some conversations in the locker room for St. Francis, clean up a few of those little mistakes offensively. We're going to get to see them first thing out of the gate, out of the locker room here in the second half. And so we'll see what they'll be able to do I take that back. Clyde will receive the second half kickoff.
And I think it's going to be interesting right now. If you're Bruce Gradkowski, the offense has moved. They've looked good through the air, established the run. And I think also, too, once they see the ball cross the goal line, you'll see that energy maybe change and amp up quite a bit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, too, if they come out in a little quicker tempo. It almost seemed to help eliminate some of the mistakes in that. Now, they did have a, bobble there at the end of the first half, but see if they come out a little more quick tempo again. They seem to really hit stride that way as well.
There's been the difference maker right there. Jaden Cook, the quarterback, alongside of his favorite target tonight, Brady Wilson. Wilson responsible for several deep passes. As we get the second half underway, a great kick out of the back of the end zone. No chance for the Flyers to make a return on it, so they will start 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line here as we are now under the lights inside the Glass Bowl, and this is what everybody waits for. When the sun set and the lights came on, I got goosebumps. You just get that feeling there. You see that beautiful wide shot overlooking the Glass Bowl here.
Got the moon off in the distance there to the right, and it's electric. It's what it should be. It's what you live for. And, last year being so disrupted, you see the fans turning out in huge numbers to be here tonight in this great weather in the Glass Bowl.
Cook will start off the first half, giving the ball to Daniels off the left side, and he will run ahead to the 29 for a gain of 9 on first down. That's one of his biggest runs, and he's such a patient runner, doesn't really force it. If the hole's not there, opened up, he will take what the defense gives him.
He does, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more of that. Move the linebackers, force the linebackers to get him on the edge, which will open up that inside run game, and so not surprised to see him take him to the edge there.
Carry again, met right in his face and blown up. Tim Zale shooting through that gap.
Yeah, Zale doing an incredible job. I mean, Daniel still, nice job falling forward for a yard or so to create a 3rd and short here for Clyde. See if they decide to keep it on the ground or open Cook's arm up for the first time in the second half.
They've opened up the drive with 2 straight gives to Michael Daniels here. A short 3rd down on the opening drive of half number 2. 3rd and 1 from their own 29. Tight formation, quarterback keeper. Cook getting a healthy push from his offensive line as they will push him out across the 30 to the 34-yard line and a first down.
Clyde got away with one there. Osborne was moving forward toward the line of scrimmage while the ball was snapped. He was back because he was looking for the play, and before he ever got set, the ball was snapped. The line judge went ahead and let him play, and free set it down there for Clyde.
Cook needs to thank Britt, Norman, Myers, Ruffing, and Lee paving the way. Cutting back inside, and a good shift of momentum for Michael Daniels on first down.
Yeah, this one's going to be coming back for a holding against Clyde. There was a reason that hole opened up as cleanly as it did, and that one's going to be for naught.
They will walk it back. It was almost out to the 42-yard line. So negate the run, holding.
And I've talked about it on St. Francis side of the ball. Clyde has done the same thing a few times. Those big pass completions to Wilson have been the difference that have helped them compensate for their own error and mistakes that they've made. See if they'll be able to overcome this deficit again.
We've seen run so far. Now will it open up the deep ball? There is Wilson in the slot here on the near side. Dropping back plenty of time all day. This is lofted up and out of bounds. Intended target again, Brady Wilson. And slotting the coverage was Josh Neary in that area.
Neary's got to watch that one because Cook, again, and we saw it happen in the first half with Truss, Cook never took his eyes off Wilson on that play. Everybody knew that that's where he was going with it. As a defensive back, position yourself, and you got yourself a chance for a pick on those.
2nd and long, 2nd and 18 from the 24-yard line.
It's easy to say, but Wilson's shown himself a little hard to cover tonight as he's had guys on him when he's made those completions.
Last year, Clyde averaged 346 yards per game through the air. In the belly of Daniels, and he is swarmed and dropped immediately. Shaking his head right away, Javin Toyer.
Toyer's really had himself a game tonight. Good looking young player in the middle of that defense, just able to shed the blocks and get penetration, get behind the offensive line, and then he completes it with a great tackle like you saw there.
St. Francis set up out of their defensive huddle to protect the deep ball. Everybody knowing where Wilson is on the field. They will send Lozier in motion. 3rd and 19. Cook sends it downfield, and it's intercepted in the hands of Josh Neary. Neary slipping free, and that's the shot in the arm this defense needed, and they get it with the defense in the interception.
Yep, and again, Cook never looked off, and Neary doing a great job that time being in zone coverage. He was back deep enough, and we've got a late flag after the play. It comes down here, and we'll see what that is, but great interception, and like you said, the emotional energy and shot in the arm that St. Francis needed here to start the second half.
And everybody right now kind of holding their breath, waiting to see what the penalty marker indeed was for. And if it stands, this will be setting up the Knights in excellent field position. Let's take a listen in here. Offsetting, well, unsportsmanlike against St. Francis.
Yeah, it was a dead ball after the play was over. I think there was a little too much celebration by the defense as they had, celebrated the return of that play.
Well, it wasn't as egregious celebration I saw in an NFL preseason game. We're not having fun anymore in the NFL. It was in the Colts game. It was a long run. The running back was taken down after a gain of 20, stood up and gave a fist pump, threw a flag. So that's one of the points of emphasis in the National Football League this season.
Yeah, this one, the officiating crew tonight has done a fabulous job of calling the game, so I didn't see it. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that there might have been something said, and usually in high school, that's when the celebration flag is going to be thrown, as if something is said toward the opposing team.
So instead of setting up from the 33, push back at the 47 for St. Francis.
Coleman doing a nice job there with his second effort. He got met in the backfield, but kept his legs driving and was able to do that. Yeah, and kind of surprised the flag wasn't thrown there because Coleman's shoe was just chucked 15 yards behind the offense after the end of that play. And he's a little bit livid that there it is. Okay.
Very late. Now
very late. I think the officials didn't realize what had transpired. And to be honest, I saw it. Yep,
there it is. Good job, too, to huddle up. You mentioned we've seen it a few times. So they will get that free yardage that got away from them off the interception by Josh Neary.
It's officiating crew in mid-season form. Like you said, you love seeing them come together. Okay, did you see what I saw? Yes, okay, we'll drop the flag and do that.
And that's one that doesn't have to be reviewed.
No. That one was pretty easy, so not sure why you would choose to pick up a shoe that came off and chuck it 15 yards, but
to the 29. Now this crowd starting to get loud here. St. Francis trying to put points on the board off the turnover. They will send the tight end in motion. That's Nate Smith. Here's give left side for Coleman, and Coleman dodging his way inside the 25.
Coleman slightly hesitant there. He's patient, which is good. Hesitating's not, and he did a great job there getting 6 yards on the carry. So Excellent job of reading what was there and taking it. And he's had a couple good back-to-back runs here in this series.
So we've seen both quarterbacks make a mistake here. Both have one interception apiece. Denham Truss looking for a score to lead this team down the field. And this is an explosion, ripping his way into the backfield. That is the player we talked about, Remington Norman. 13 and a half sacks a season ago, a first-team all-conference player. Second on the team in tackles with over 80 last year.
Yeah, Clyde bringing a run blitz there that just absolutely gave Coleman no opportunity to do anything. Loses about 5 yards, 5.5 yards on that play as the defense shut that one down quickly.
3rd and 10. Trips formation. There goes Trey Talbot. It's been a while since we've heard his name. See if Truss looks his way. He does, eyeing him all the way, and this will go for 6. A beautiful ball placed down the chute to senior Trey Talbot, and the Knights are on the board.
You see Talbot run this wheel route, and as he comes around the corner, as soon as he's behind the defensive back, you just saw him point to Truss, and he pointed. He's like, just throw it out in front of me. And Truss put that ball exactly where it needed to be, and for the first time in Coach Gradkowski's career, he sees his offense in the end zone.
Executed perfectly, and great ball placement by Denham Truss to get the first score here, and more importantly, momentum, able to capitalize off the interception and come away with points on the board.
Definitely the way you want your team to come out of the locker room at halftime.
Kick is through, and it is a one-possession game. St. Francis able to add points off the turnover. Denham Truss to senior Trey Talbot in the back of the end zone. Knights within one score.
Hey, King Midas, people should know we can service their whole car.
Yes. Tires, brakes, oil, everything. Everything. We must tell the people. And the people have been told.
Midas, always a touch better. Request an appointment today.
At Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we have you covered. We know life is full of adventures, daily tasks, good friends, and family activities. We also know nothing beats having the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle, your personality, and your budget. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Bighorn 4x4 for $329 per month or $219 with lease loyalty. Make this the summer event and let Charlie's help you find your next new vehicle.
Charlie's Dodge, doing it different, doing it right.
Hey, King Midas, people should know we can service their whole car.
Yes. Tires, brakes, oil, everything. Everything. We must tell the people. And the people have been told.
Midas, always a touch better. Request an appointment today.
The Knights have new life. The interception, the defensive play made by Josh Neary results in a 29-yard passing score from Denham Truss to Trey Talbot. But unfortunately, the ball was kicked out of bounds and would have really started the defense with good position. Instead, the ball's now placed down at the 35 for Jaden Cook and company. And we'll see how Cook responds now after his first interception. They'll keep it on the ground, and pushing through to the 40 is Michael Daniels. There you see Trey Talbot. Talbot, a lot of talent, not only here on the football field, but plays for Tim Gherkin and the baseball team. He's been a starter with the baseball team for his entire career as a baseball player. But these are guys that they need and will need all season long. A little stutter step, and this thrown out of bounds. A bump there as the ball was overthrown. The contact from Dixon in the secondary.
Yeah, and sadly unnecessary contact. That ball was not going to be caught. And I think they are talking it over briefly, but they're going to agree that this was pass interference. It was, and sadly unnecessary, and the defense helps out Clyde's offense.
And that's one of the misconceptions. People sometimes think, well, the ball's thrown out of bounds, even though it's there, it shouldn't matter, it's not catchable. Well, There was pass interference there.
There was pass interference.
Will result in a flag every time. I know it's one of the more frustrating things the higher up you go, but it indeed is a penalty. And now, after the pass interference call, it is placed at the 45-yard line. Clyde in position here to answer and respond to try and make it a 2-score game once again.
Won't be surprised if they go back to the running game here on first down, but see what they dial up.
From the 45. Nowhere to go. There was not a running lane at all for Michael Daniels. That was again Toyer. Toyer has been the leader of this defense tonight.
Mr. Toyer was not surprised that they were running on first down either.
And that one going for a loss of 1, a TFL for Javon Toyer. Cook looking down at that left wrist. Play clock under 5. They will get it off in time. A very fast snap. Pocket collapsing. They get their hands on him. Cook rips free and away.
Wondering, we may have two. I'm pretty sure we've got a face mask on Cook as he was running. You saw a hand go up, hit it, and come off. So very inadvertent. But then you see a Clyde helmet rolling across the ground. And oftentimes that is hands to the face from a defensive lineman.
And it is face mask on the defense. That guilty party there, Sam Malfent.
And so Clyde moving the ball down the field in chunks, but via the yellow flag. This is a combined 45 yards on this drive alone, because keep in mind the kickoff when he goes out of bounds, that's a penalty. That was 15 yards and 2 more. So the pass interference and now the face mask. 45 yards alone on this drive have come by the inerrant play of the St. Francis defense. So offense came out and looked good. Defense got to get it together.
The power formation here, with a quick give to somebody that's not Michael Daniels. Actually, it is Daniels.
Zale doing a nice job of fighting through the traffic in there and only allowing him to gain about 2 yards on that carry.
They had Overmeyer as the fullback in the eye that last play. And that's one of the rare occasions we've seen him not operating out of the gun. And this time they will be set up in the pistol. Cook last year, one of the errors he wanted to clean up was interceptions. He threw 11 interceptions last year in the condensed season. From the 28, Cook placing it to Daniels. Daniels stumbling, able to slip his way inside the 25.
And you know, that was an outside run, so I'm looking to see if there's a linebacker who got out there. And once again, it was Javon Toyer from the middle of the defensive line, was out on the edge and around Daniels' ankles. Daniels is going to have nightmares tonight about Toyer.
3rd and 6. Defense trying to stand their ground. Olsen in motion in the slot. Give left side some running room. Up to speed quickly is Daniels. Daniels able to weave through that defensive line.
This time coming back against Clyde as there was holding downfield a little bit, and so that one will be marked off against Clyde.
And that's why that hole was so gaping for Michael Daniels to work with.
So the coach on Clyde's sideline instantly, even before the flag come out, kind of jumped in the air. He knew that it was coming back. He he saw it. It was pretty clean shot there. Easy decision by the official to throw the flag on that one.
And this is where St. Francis has to be very observant where Brady Wilson is located. They will put him in motion in the slot. 3rd and long. Pump fake. Putting air underneath of it. Intended for Wilson. They had double coverage there, but he was able to slip by both of them, trying to work it to the sidelines.
He is really quick, and good job by Cook throwing that ball outside because, to your point, he was double covered, and he was covered inside and over the top. So anywhere else, that ball's potentially going the other direction. But Wilson showing a lot of speed out there, getting away from that coverage.
4th and 11 for the Clyde Fliers here. 3:19 to go in the 3rd quarter. They've been kept out of the end zone here so far in quarter number 3. Cook shifting, evading, cutting back on the run at the 30, staying in bounds at the 20. He has the yardage, but there is some laundry on the field.
Gonna wait to see what this is. This may be holding against Clyde.
I was looking at the coaching staff for St. Francis, and they were pointing, of course, towards Clyde as the conversation breaks and commences.
It appeared to be a little bit of a hook. Oh, illegal procedure before the start, and we've got Javon Toyers down on one knee over on the Clyde sideline.
Quickly up and walking with a purpose and a mission to get back to the St. Francis sidelines. And he has just been amazing tonight for this defense.
He really has just played with so much heart. You know, that's why you hate seeing now they've got a 4th and 16 and not having him on the field. It's not only his physical presence, but you can just tell the heart that kid plays with, and that elevates the play of guys around you. We'll see if Cook has it in him this time to make something happen again.
And replacing Toyer is Dominic Coleman, the 6'2", 220-pound senior defensive end. Backed up after the penalty. 4th and 16. Defense trying to get off the field. Cook launching deep, and this was almost right on the money. Just missing through the fingertips of Brady Wilson.
What a great job. Dixon, who got called earlier on this drive for pass interference, that time, you are right, that ball was put exactly where it needed to be, but Dixon kept his shoulder in the chest plate of that wide receiver and never allowed separation, and was a reason. And it wasn't even that he made contact, but as a receiver, when you can't see the ball coming all the way in, that's enough. Great play by Dixon not to touch the receiver, but cause that ball to fall inerrantly to the ground. St. Francis takes over on downs.
And you see a different look now. The body language is more positive, up-tempo here for the Knights, who scored on their last drive. This drive will start at their own 36. Truss checked down, and it is dropped incomplete to Coleman. And that's what they want to do. Coleman hasn't had many opportunities to accelerate into high gear, and that would have been one of those.
That was the opportunity, and unfortunately, sometimes as a young guy, that was his first pass, and he saw that green in front of him and didn't look the ball all the way in.
Truss has been very resilient. He has unfinished business against Clyde. Taking off is Makai Smith. The quick change of directions for Coleman.
You've seen Coleman, and again, not projected to be the starter before the year in that, and then you have guys leaving that, and now as this game goes on, you can just tell he's getting a little bit of that swagger to his step and, dropped that one ball, but that was more out of excitement because he saw an open field in front of him. So be interesting to see how he progresses not only in this game, but in the next few weeks to come.
3rd and 8. They had success during the last drive on 3rd down conversions, trying to keep the drive alive here. And Bruce Gradkowski going to want to talk things over. We will step aside here with 2:53 remaining. 14-7, Knights facing 3rd down when we return.
Deciding what you're going to do after high school is stressful. I mean, really stressful. Plus, I'm going to pay for college on my own. I looked at 4-year schools, but they're way too expensive. That's why I confidently chose Owens. They offer so many programs and transfer options and helped me through the whole process. They answered all of my questions, and trust me, I had a lot. I have to say, I feel good about my decision.
Your success starts here. Owens Community College.
Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, where everyday moments make the best memories. Make this the summer event and let Groganstown help you find the perfect vehicle. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn 4x4 with remote start and 20-inch wheels for $299 per month or $239 per month with current owner lease loyalty. Stop in and reserve your next new vehicle at Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram or Groganstown.com. Over 700 available. Nobody treats you better.
3rd and 8 from their own 38. Knights looking to convert. Plenty of protection. Now pocket collapsing. Going upstairs to the tight end, Mason Chamberlain. His first reception. Excuse me, that's actually Parrish, the tight end. Yes, with his second catch and the biggest reception of his game so far.
Who put the step stool on the field for him to climb up? That boy's got some ups. Great job getting a ball that looked like it was well overthrown. Pulls it down and gets us St. Francis's fresh set of downs.
Right at midfield. Truss gaining confidence. Bobbled, finally grabbed and hauled in by Connor, who explodes with some yards after contact inside the 35.
You can feel it, you can see it. As long as St. Francis doesn't commit their own error, they're back into that groove. They've got that swagger, they've got that confidence. See if they can keep this drive going and tie this one up.
And back to that 3rd down call. How did Truss squeeze it in there? There was coverage across the middle.
Yeah, excellent job. He had to throw it high, or it would have got either tipped or knocked down, and great job of putting it in there.
And having the confidence to believe in your teammates. It is a dangerous thing. Here's the give up the middle. That is Coleman.
Coleman, nice leg drive there. Really wasn't anything there. Was able to dig 2 yards out of that run.
Trying to nickel and dime them right now here with under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. These two teams always play each other so tough. That meeting in 2019, it appears we're headed for another classic here. 25-23, the final in that game. From the 32. Play fake. Truss gets rid of it in time, and they almost came up with the grab. That was Trey Talbot. The pocket collapsed. The pressure came right in his face.
Did you see the arm strength right there by Truss? Not only was his feet not set, he's backpedaling. He could put no body into that ball, and just with his right arm, launched that ball all the way across the field and almost completed it.
Do you go back to the tight end? Converted last time on 3rd and long. It was 3rd and 8 from their own 36. This time, 3rd and 8 from the Clyde 32.
He's got a 3-by-1 set here with Connor, the sole man on the short side of the field.
And delay of game against the offense, that sense of urgency.
Actually, I think they ended up giving. I saw Greg. Yep, they gave Gradkowski. They gave.
The side official came in right there and kind of saw and told him that that's exactly right. He called for the timeout, so they get the timeout off in time. And plenty of action. We're not done after this game here tonight. No. Plenty of coverage on BCSN and our family networks. Tune into Game Day Nation Overtime Edition tonight at 10:30 p.m. on BCSN for post-game highlights and analysis from this game and others that we are following this evening. Can't wait to see that. Of course, Mike Robinson, Mike Jewell, Mark Coons bringing the coverage on Overtime Edition. Anthony Bellino anchoring the coverage here until 10:30. That's the busiest guy in show business right there, Anthony Bellino. Hats off to him. You know, his bio on Twitter says, location, on my way to a game in my car, and it is so correct.
So accurate, yeah. Well, hopefully all across Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan, they're having other games like ours. What a great opener for the first weekend of high school football here in Northwest Ohio. Two teams, like you said, constantly battling one another. We weren't sure what to see from the St. Francis team, a team that before the season started lost quite a few players. They weren't sure who their head coach was going to be. What an impressive way to come out here tonight, and they're looking at trying to tie this one up.
They have certainly shown and revealed a lot of character. Truss has great protection. Let's go with it. Right down in the basket and caught. That is complete to Myron Connor. Executed to perfection. Unbelievable.
The side judge just ruled him out of bounds. Wow. Yeah. He did a great job concentrating on that ball and bringing it in, and they are going to have to set up here for a 4th and 8 and figure out how to move the chains or get the ball in the end zone, because great, beautiful sideline catch there, all for naught.
Beautiful ball placement by Truss. That ball just fell right in the waiting hands of Myron Connor. 4th and 8 for the Knights here. Entering the game is Nate Smith as well. Truss working the sidelines. There was a hold right there, and the late flag comes up. Wilson, the guilty party.
Yep, he knew Connor was going to get away from him, and instead of giving up the big play, just absolutely grabbed a hold of him.
You know a guy's guilty when they throw the hands up immediately.
The whole not me look is the easiest way to say, okay, yeah, I'm guilty. Look, the coaches are even like, yeah, you did it, bro.
Yeah. So an automatic first down here after one that got away on a executed to perfection play on the sidelines.
You know, in that takes, Connor did a great job there continuing to fight to get loose, because if he kind of gives up when he gets held on that play, they may not call that. But when you try to pull away and get separation and can't, it makes it really clean and easy for those officials to make that call.
Inside the red zone for their second trip tonight. 1st and 10 at the 17 for Denham Trust. They're showing pressure on the edge. Pump fakes, now gets rid of it, complete to the tight end. That is Michael Parrish at the 10-yard line, a gain of 7.
Parrish has had a couple of great catches, and you love to see the yards after contact on that one, just taking the defender with him. And again, you talk about, you can just see it. He's one of those guys that plays with a lot of heart.
It took about 2.5 quarters, but this offense now is starting to roll and gel here with under 30 seconds remaining in the quarter. There goes Smith. boy, and bottled up and jackknifed is Coleman.
Boy, if you can get that same look for the defense again, you had Talbot on the bottom in one-on-one coverage. The slant is there as everybody's cleared out, and that's going to wrap up our third quarter.
The Knights able to get a third quarter score, and they have new life to cling to here and breathe as we head to the final quarter of regulation. One-score game. Clyde on top, 14-7.
There's a special place on Cherry Street that excels at being central to life. It's a place that has remained a cornerstone of the Toledo community for over 100 years. Rooted in its strong faith formation, academics in the classrooms, and energy in its many extracurricular activities. Come discover that special place, Central Catholic High School, central to life.
Get the #1 buy from the #1 guy, Dave White, Chevrolet. The best deal you will ever see. And standard equipment includes integrity. Dave's reputation says it all. For the #1 buy from the #1 guy. The place to go is a Lexus and Monroe. Dave White, Chevrolet.
Find new roads. Visit DaveWhiteChevy.com.
So glad to see a packed stand in 2021 after last year, obviously the pandemic situation, and just the atmosphere for high school football, that crowd, the band, everybody, it is electric.
They're out here having a great time, and because of this game, there hasn't been a person leave the stadium at all. If anything, they've been calling their friends, telling them they got to get down here, as we are heading into a fourth quarter that looks to be a great one.
The Knights have been resilient. 3rd and 3 at the 10-yard line. They have Toyer in as a blocker here to try and pave the way. Quarterback keeper, Truss has a lane, absorbs the contact, breaking the end zone, and the senior quarterback, Denham Truss, scores from 10 yards out.
And unfortunately, I think a little celebration afterwards, but the points are on the board. And you said it, Toyer, he's out there as a blocker. You saw him, you kind of knew which way Truss was going when you saw him on the field.
And that confused the defense, I think, because he wears number 4. That's normally a running back number.
Yeah, and he wasn't getting the ball, that's for sure, but he did do a great job. Unfortunately, I think St. Francis, in their excitement after the touchdown, was very excited, and a couple flags came out. This could really hurt them, because if Clyde chooses, and they are, yes, an unsportsmanlike, they're moving them back on the extra point. This is critical.
Well, good thing they have a soccer player from Coach Francis Stevens' team, Travis Kenner, the 5'9" junior, plays on the successful soccer team that had a great season opener under Friday Night Football last week, a victory over Perrysburg. So they will back up the PAT attempt. Took a little bit of extra time, plenty of distance, and we are tied up to begin the fourth quarter. 3rd and 3 from the 10-yard line. Denham Truss breaking the end zone and scoring to give the Knights and bring them right back here as we will take the break here. All tied at 14 when we come back.
Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, where everyday moments make the best memories. Make this the summer event and let Groganstown help you find the perfect vehicle. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Bighorn 4x4 with Hemi and remote start for $229 per month or $189 per month with current owner lease loyalty. Stop in and reserve your next new vehicle at Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram or Groganstown.com. Over 700 available. Nobody treats you better.
Sometimes, when things seem stressful, it can feel like you're all alone. Hey, I'm Here is a youth-led community that was created to talk about mental wellness. Our team is full of young people like you that are sharing their stories, all to let you know that you are not alone. We provide a safe digital space to share stories, offer encouragement, and to help others find resources available to them in Ohio. No matter where you are, we're here for you. Connect with us and join the conversation at heyimhere.org.
Win or lose tonight, Ed, I believe that St. Francis has learned a lot about themselves as a team, and I think the word of the night for them is character.
Yeah, without a doubt. They have come out here. Obviously, both teams things to clean up, but the fight they have showed, the heart they have played with, it's going to be fun to see how this last 11 and a half minutes goes.
The swing pass too far in front of Will Lozier.
We see there Truss, who took that last one in on his own. It was a run all the way. I mean, when you've got number 4, Javon Toyer, out there leading the way, you know that that was a designed quarterback run. We talked about it earlier. Big-built kid, so he was able to carry the rock into the end zone.
Toyer is just a bruiser. Dominic Arnold showing blitz. He's been kind of quiet until this point, now dropping back into coverage. Cook looking outside, and it's grabbed right away at the 35. Lozier, he dropped his last pass and answers the bell this time as it falls right in his hands.
Yeah, good to see Cook come back. He's got the confidence, he's just going to fire it out there. Lozier doing a nice job pulling that one in. Going to be just shy of the chain, so it is a 3rd down for Clyde.
That goes for 9 yards, so 3rd and 1. Coming up here, we are still only 21 seconds into this 4th quarter. And they're not even going to measure it. They're just going to come, kind of look at it, and signal 1st down, so we'll give time for the chain gang to reset the sticks and the markers.
Yeah. But to your point, so many questions coming into this season. Coach Gretkowski in his first year, losing guys that would have been playing, and for them to come out and they've just showed that they're playing with a lot of heart, character.
Here's a swing pass in the backfield. Lozier trying to get up this speed. Across the 45, down at the 46.
Ball came up, and not till after Lozier was on the ground.
I think he kind of got the wind knocked down, one of those plays where you get tackled and the ball just hits you right in the gut.
The ball comes out quickly because you lost all the air that was holding it in place.
After the 7-yard gain for the offense, Cook trying to lead a scoring drive here. Lunging ahead, just shy of midfield, is Michael Daniels.
Shy of midfield, but across the marker, so the chains will move once again for fresh set of downs.
And they've started to, we saw Clyde in the first half kind of run an up-tempo offense. Later in this game that we have kind of gotten to, they have really kind of started to slow down and break the huddle as the play clock now at 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. Gonna fake to Daniels, run the end around with Wilson, and it will go nowhere. Dominic Arnold on the takedown.
Great discipline by the defense, and nobody fooled by that. Just got him to the ground right away.
And now they're going hurry up here. They're going to have to wait because they just got a fresh body on the field for the Clyde Fliers. That fresh body coming on is Kyle Flewelling. Cook hit as he throws, and it's caught at the 35, across to the 40. In the hands of Griffin Knopfs, who has been very quiet since early on in the first half.
Knopfs had just sat down, and open space and waited for Cook to deliver that one, who took a shot at the end of that play, but hit the strike and moved the chains.
It's almost like the Clyde coaching staff has an IFB listening to us. We kind of were just talking about them kind of maybe being a little gassed, going a little slower, and immediately last couple plays they've been run, and moving in that up-tempo pace.
See if Clyde called the timeout here or what happened.
Toyer's going to come off here. They're going to give him a quick blow.
Well, had that play continued, they absolutely had St. Francis. Nobody was even in position. Now there's a flag.
And they're trying to sort a lot of things out here. And one of the things I'm glad that's back here as we kind of look to try and figure this out is the Unison Health Student Section Contest. Attention, student sections. Show us your spirit and tag us on Twitter using the hashtag BCSN Nation to get in the running to be our Unison Health Student Section of the Week and be featured on Game Day Nation, but also, too, to get in the running for that championship belt. Everybody wanting a piece of that, a very sleek, custom-made belt to hold the BCSN title.
You got to have the belt.
It's all about the gold, baby.
So they ended up with an illegal substitution for St. Francis.
Was that Toyer going off when I'm not sure if it was maybe he was kind of hobbling because we did see him go out earlier. Was it maybe him coming out late?
They brought somebody in, I think, for him, but Clyde did not do a replacement, and so therefore they do not have to wait for the defense to exchange a player out.
2nd and 1. Here's Daniels trying to spin free, and that is derailed immediately by a host. The first defender there is Dominic Coleman for the Knights.
Yeah, Coleman, he's been a presence and a force inside there all night. One of the first times we've called his number to actually make the tackle, but all night long that front of St. Francis has done a great job, and we're seeing him mark off another. I did not see what was called there.
Now we're going to walk it back. Not sure if we're looking down at the iPod watch or maybe kind of trying to get our extra
He just
steps,
needed to get his steps
extra
in.
steps
That's
in.
all it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because he literally walked in and then walked it right back to where it was. So first down for the Clyde Fliers.
Cook, give, Daniels right side, absorbs a blow. And he has enough. Inside the 20, just shy of the 15. A gain of 11 on first down for Michael Daniels. You see why he ran for over 1,200 yards one season ago.
Yeah, and Daniels there taking it out around the edge. And once again, the officials are...
And this kind of hurts Clyde here, slowing this pace down. They want to go hurry up right now.
They do, and they're bringing the chains in to see if it was a first down. So that's what we've got going on. Gives St. Francis defense a little bit of a breather.
Wonder if we've got the piece of paper handy that we saw a couple years ago from measurement in that Dallas Cowboy game.
No paper needed.
Yeah,
they
none
clearly got the first down.
And why not? St. Francis going to take a little extra time. Bruce Gradkowski going to bring over his defense to the sidelines for a quick pep talk.
They've still got to bring the ball out to the middle of the field and place it, so he's got a little bit of time there. And, it'll be interesting because, Clyde is in the red zone with a fresh set of downs, and Daniels the last few times carrying the ball, he's gotten a little bit larger chunks on those run plays.
And that's what the good running backs do to separate themselves from an average running back. The longer the game goes on, they get stronger.
Yeah, and we've seen that in Daniels tonight.
First and 10 at the 16 after the measurement, and taking off is Daniels, trying to take off, but to no avail. Dominic Arnold on the stop for the Knights. Arnold in such great shape, the three-sport athlete, a wrestler, does track and field, and a football player as well. This is where week one conditioning starts to come into play. It is gut check time.
Really does. Fortunately, a cool night, like you said, so oftentimes early in the season you see a lot of cramping.
It's almost like Beetlejuice. You don't say those words, and Daniels stumbling, can't break free.
Yeah, you're right, but it is for the first game of the season. Very, nice breeze, cool night, not a lot of humidity, both teams, but last 7:30 to go. We'll see who's done their conditioning work.
Everybody getting up on their feet. 3rd and 8 from the 14. Going to have to keep an eye right there on that man going in motion. Had a grab earlier in this drive. Griffin Knopfs. And this play clock expiring, they will use a timeout here with 1 second left. We'll take the break quick with them here. 3rd and 8 inside the red zone for Clyde when we come back.
Hey, King Midas, people should know we can service their whole car.
Yes. Tires, brakes, oil, everything. Everything. We must tell the people. And the people have been told.
Midas, always a touch better. Request an appointment today.
At Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we have you covered. We know life is full of adventures, daily tasks, good friends, and family activities. We also know nothing beats having the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle, your personality, and your budget. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Bighorn 4x4 for $329 per month or $219 with lease loyalty. Make this the summer event and let Charlie's help you find your next new vehicle.
Charlie's Dodge, doing it different, doing it right.
Hey, King Midas, people should know we can service their whole car.
Yes. Tires, brakes, oil, everything. Everything. We must tell the people. And the people have been told.
Midas, always a touch better. Request an appointment today.
A big spot coming up in this football game for both sides. Inside the glass bowl, Tim Clegg alongside Ed Bellner. Crowd getting loud on both sides here with 7:04 remaining. Daniels, the running back, he has gotten every carry so far, and they will give it to him again. Doesn't see the hit and the blow coming, and Brian King is there for the Knights. Little hesitation receiving the football from Daniels, that play.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a zone read, and looks like they may be, are they going to set up for a field goal here? It is 4th and 5, 4th and 6, call it.
A 29-yard field goal attempt here for the Clyde Fliers to try and go and reclaim the lead. Line drive, kick it is no good. The Knights stand tall.
So St. Francis, new life, Clyde players, a few of them standing on the field in disbelief as that ball just kind of knuckleballed off his foot and went left of the uprights. And St. Francis now with 6:13 left on the clock and 1 timeout. We'll have to see if they can take it down and break this stalemate of 14.
They trailed 14-0 at the end of the first half. Had a score in the 3rd quarter to get them back within 1. It was a 5-play, 77-yard drive. Then they were able to respond yet again. Denham trusts a 10-yard rushing touchdown slant over the middle, complete at the 30-yard line to Trey Talbot. Just across to the 34-yard line.
Nice job throwing that in traffic, kind of where he needed to, but Talbot had to pull that off his back hip. The ball was behind him. He did a great job concentrating on pulling that in and then getting the first down after the catch. He's had a game tonight.
He really has, and if we had fantasy football, I would want him in my point per reception league because he has been a monster. Shifting back the middle of the field for Coleman. Oh, coming up hobbling, going to ask for his substitution here. An offensive lineman going off the field for the Knights.
Number 66, Carson Cordell coming off. Coleman, I loved the stop and cut. He saw the edge was taken away from the defensive end. Excellent job of shutting it down. But Coleman just stuck his foot in the ground and turned upfield. Play that looked like he might get thrown for no gain or a loss. He gained 4 yards on.
Just over 5 minutes remaining in regulation. Tie ball game. Pressure coming up the middle. Pulled back out. Intended for Nate Smith. Thrown a couple yards in front of him. And Truss, for good reason, had to throw it ahead of him because he had no more time.
Yeah, Truss threw that earlier than he wanted to. He didn't want to have to release it there, but smartly threw it. It's like, if it's going to be completed, it's going to be my guy. If not, it's landed in the middle of the field and didn't take the sack. We haven't seen him take a sack all night. He's done a really nice job of getting rid of the ball or getting some yardage with his feet.
What a story this would be. 2 years ago, he was the starter. Got injured in this game 2 weeks ago. Lost the starting job to David Kaiser. This is his opportunity that he has been waiting for to lead the Knights. Dropping back. Fires, and it's complete. Right at the markers, and enough they needed.
Did you see, talking about Truss, staying on him for a minute, he stood there, a linebacker come untouched from the middle of the field, had a full head-on rush, and Truss stood there and released the ball at the last second, taking a shot right in the chest. Not until he completed it, though, to his favorite receiver of the night.
Needed to get to the 45, and Talbot was able to extend to the 46. 1st and 10 now, just shy of midfield here with over 4.5 minutes to go. A good-looking drive here late in the ball game for St. Francis. Truss gaining confidence. It's complete inside the red zone. Trey Talbot down the chimney. Perfect placement by Denham. Truss again.
He put just enough air under it. And Talbot having a night, he's cramping.
Yeah.
Who said something about cramps earlier? We've got 2 guys down. I actually think the Clyde guy, I hope he's okay, looked like he came down hard on his knee. May also just be cramps, but got a couple of them down there. So
and he will walk off. That is a good sight because that is Caden Olson, who was injured for the majority of the season last year. Helmet off. He will run to the sidelines. But Trey Talbot having himself a debut in 2021 here for this team. With the clock stopped at 4:24, they're going to work on both players. We're going to go ahead and step away, take the break here late in the 4th.
There's a special place on Cherry Street that excels at being central to life. It's a place that has remained a cornerstone of the Toledo community for over 100 years. Rooted in its strong faith formation, academics in the classrooms, and energy in its many extracurricular activities. Come discover that special place, Central Catholic High School, central to life.
Get the #1 buy from the #1 guy, Dave White, Chevrolet. The best deal you will ever see. And standard equipment includes integrity. His reputation says it all. For the #1 buy from the #1 guy. The place to go is a Lexus and Monroe. Dave White, Chevrolet.
Find new roads. Visit DaveWhiteChevy.com.
Trey Talbot off the field now. He will continue to get looked at on the St. Francis sideline. They're continuing to work now on the Clyde Flyer player that is down at the 15-yard line. While we have a minute, we want to tell you about the new season of Rise Up and Trendy in Toledo this fall on BCAN Channel 109 and 609 in HD, only on Buckeye Broadband. And what a year it's been for the BCAN team, winning a couple of Emmys here in the Great Lakes region. And congratulations to all of those involved. I know Tim McMahon and Allie Ray. And it was Brady Wilson, the injured player, and they will cart that young man off. And that's always a scary sight to see, hoping and praying for that young man's well-being right now.
Yeah, young kid who just, especially the second quarter of this game, lit it up with a couple of long catches, broke up a couple of plays defensively. Just been out there playing an incredible game, and you hate to see him have to go off on the cart.
He was the chess piece on the board that set up both scoring drives, the 44-yard reception and then a pair of deep balls on the second scoring drive. And also, too, the interception to stall out a drive.
So after that incredible pass by Trush, you see him and Coach Gradkowski sitting there and dialing up what they are going to do offensively, keeping in mind that at least for one play, Talbot will be off the field as he's off getting some hydration and stretching. His was obvious that it was a, he's been running all over that field tonight. He deserves a little hydration here during this next play.
They have a great 1-2 punch with Trey Talbot and Myron Connor. And we've seen a couple great receptions from the tight end as well. Michael Parrish.
As well, Neary has showed up tonight.
Knights looking to break the tie, looking and searching for their first lead of the ball game. Smith in motion. And the give up the middle to Javon Coleman. That hole was plugged up immediately.
We talked about it in the first part of this game, but both defensive fronts for these teams really have not allowed any running, any breakaways, and we see Talbot already entering the huddle again here after one playoff. But both defensive fronts have just shut down the interior run game.
And now that they're down in the red zone, Bruce Gradkowski, this is where the NFL quarterback experience pays off. Looking at the play clock, content to slow it down methodically and let that play clock wind way down.
See what he's got dialed up here with Coleman over Truss's right hip.
Talbot is back at the bottom of your screen after sitting out a play. 2nd and 10, dropping back, looking Talbot's way, and it's caught right on the money. Touchdown, St. Francis.
This one's not going to count. They threw the flag, and Talbot did do a little bit of a push-off. It was subtle, but it was enough to draw the flag, and so this one's going to come back and not count. Again, great touch on the ball. And that's one of those things you learn once you're at the college and pro level. You can do exactly what Talbot did there. You just can't show the extension of your arms. You have to do almost like a quick jab versus a long extension. And the St. Francis fans very displeased with the call.
Remember that 3:07 would have been the go-ahead score, and they will have to do it again.
Keep in mind the defensive back was Wilson, who they were putting on Talbot here in the second half, trying to shut him down. And Wilson off the field, not available.
After the offensive pass interference, backs St. Francis up now to the 32 of Clyde. 3:07 remaining. And Bruce Gradkowski wants to talk things over here And with 3:07 to go, we'll keep it here. And
the hard part is, and as a new coach, these are the things you don't think about, because on a penalty, that clock, and they ended up having to use their last timeout. They had to use their last timeout because of the play clock was down, hitting 0.
Begin your day with the X's and Bros morning show with Anthony Bellino, weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on BCSN, breaking down the biggest Michigan and Ohio sports stories of the day. That's X's and Bros, Monday through Friday on BCSN.
Well, you have to use your last time out in this situation, not a place you want to use it, but you're forced to so you don't lose any more yardage. We have seen a kicker in St. Francis that had to kick an extra long extra point, and so it's 2nd and 20. They've got to get a big, big chunk of this back even to put it in range for them.
Majority of their offense tonight has come through the arm of Denham Truss. See what he has worked up and in store here. Fakes to Coleman, right back to Talbot. To the 28, called the 27 now after the gain of 5 on the quick hitter.
St. Francis, not only with plenty of time, but really your perfect scenario is run the clock down as low as you can and score. And so, you know, if it appears like they're not in a hurry, they're not.
Have to get points somehow, whether it's from a touchdown or a field goal here. You mentioned the leg of Travis Kenner. We've seen him put one long extra point attempt through. 3rd and 19 from the 27. Across the middle, wide open, complete to the tight end. Michael Parrish giving the Knights the lead. They had one called back. This one will stand. Knights on top for the first time tonight.
Michael Parrish has showed up at the right time all night long, converting a big 3rd down play on the last drive they scored, this time taking it all the way to the end zone. Parrish in for 6, putting him on top.
I was waiting to see if there was going to be a seam there. They've forgotten about Parrish a few times, and this time he makes them pay.
That's the experience of an NFL-style quarterback. You just lull people to sleep, forget about your tight end, and at the right time you hit him down the seam.
Extra point attempt from Kenner is good. That young man, Michael Parrish, fired up, addressing the student section here as they have fought all the way back. 21-14, Knights on top late.
Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, where everyday moments make the best memories. Make this the summer event and let Groganstown help you find the perfect vehicle. Lease the 2021 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Bighorn 4x4 with Hemi and remote start for $229 per month or $189 per month with current owner lease loyalty. Stop in and reserve your next new vehicle at Groganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram or Groganstown.com. Over 700 available. Nobody treats you better.
Sometimes, when things seem stressful, it can feel like you're all alone. Hey, I'm Here is a youth-led community that was created to talk about mental wellness. Our team is full of young people like you that are sharing their stories, all to let you know that you are not alone. We provide a safe digital space to share stories, offer encouragement, and to help others find resources available to them in Ohio. No matter where you are, we're here for you. Connect with us and join the conversation at heyimhere.org.
How about the late magic from the St. Francis offense? Denham Truss. This is what we wanted to see. How was he going to respond in this game? A lot of emotion from him, and connecting with this tight end over the middle of the field, Michael Parrish from 27 yards out. Plenty of time here, and a miscue. That could have been dangerous. Dominic Arnold was there waiting to try and intercept.
Not sure who got their hand on it. That ball was tipped and kind of jutted right up into the air. Seeing Parrish there in that last screen. As a tight end, you don't get a lot of opportunities. But, man, has he made his opportunities tonight count. Each and every time. Big plays on his part, keeping this offense alive, and in this last series, putting them ahead.
Jaden Cook, 80 yards to go to try and tie things up. He will take off and use the clock, and good footwork to get out of bounds to stop the clock, but also avoid a hit.
Really headsy play on his part. Yeah, like you said, got as much as he could and then got out of bounds. It's the drawback of having your corners play man-to-man as St. Francis corners. They never see him, and he's right next to him before they realize he's not throwing the ball.
They have been able to rally several times. Last season, they did it against their arch nemesis and rivals, the Bellevue Red. And they're going to run it here, and he cannot hide. Daniels had a target on him there, and a gang tackle by St. Francis, and it is quickly here. 4th down, and a timeout called by Coach Carter. We will keep it here on the timeout here late with 1:51 to go. But if you're Coach Gradkowski, what have you learned the most about this team? The heart, determination?
Heart and determination. And, as late as they came together, how well they've been able to overcome the adversity. They didn't continue to shoot themselves in the foot. We talked about it in the first half. It was some of the errors that they were making that was stopping their own drives. They were able to get out of their own way. They were able to continue. And you see Coach Gradkowski there hoping that with 1:51 left, he's got that smile still going. See him there encouraging his players and just coaching all the way through this one. And it is 4th and 2 here. We saw Toyer, Zale, and Coleman meet at Daniel on the last play. See what they've got in the tank.
Need to get to the 30 to extend the drive with 1:51. They fake it, pressure coming, and a sack! And that will result in a turnover on downs. Biggest defensive play made by Brian King.
Brian King, Toyer, when Cook wanted to turn around, he couldn't. But King doing a great job not letting Cook get loose. He is one happy young man. He does know not to go to the locker room, right?
He went to the 20 and turned around. He was just...
He had one of his coaches calling him back there.
Enthusiastic guy. And the Knights have rolled off 21 straight points here inside the Glass Bowl. We mentioned the meetings between these two teams, and this one has certainly lived up to it here. Knights hoping to put this game out of reach with a touchdown late to put the icing on it.
Yeah, right now it's a matter of hanging on to the ball. Clyde, 1 timeout left. They'll have to be using it here during this series.
Coleman, left side, will pick up 2 yards on the give. And they will take their 3rd and final time out of the football game. It's almost everybody's favorite time, victory formation.
Not quite. You got to get another first down. Then it's victory formation. I think so. Yes. Yeah. I'm sitting here trying to do time math in my head, but yes, they'll have to, I think, in order to be able to clear the clock, get 1 more first down here.
It has been a valiant effort, a hard-fought game on both sides of the football.
Right coming out of half, though, you saw St. Francis come out of the locker room. Clyde got the ball. They were driving down the field. They took that turnover, and you just felt, it just changed the energy in the stadium. It changed the focus they had. And that's where that energy helped them. It wasn't just momentum. It wasn't just excitement. It changed their focus, and they started to believe that they had a right to be in this game.
That was an interception by Josh Neary that changed the momentum here. 2nd and 7. Trying to get the angle. Dancing around is Coleman to the 22.
You could see him thinking there. He started to go outside, and he's like, nope, don't get too close to the out of bounds. Come back inside and just let that clock keep running.
That's exactly what they are doing here. Trying to close this one off and give Coach Bruce Gradkowski a win in his coaching debut. You know, he was a quarterback coach a couple years ago out in Anthony Wayne. Has been busy, you know, one of the voices for the UT Rocket Network and doing a lot of media here, and decided to get back to his roots. 3rd and 5, a first down will end it here. And Overmeyer right in the face of Coleman instantaneously.
So Clyde making sure that didn't happen. So now for St. Francis, there is about 6 seconds between the two clocks. I have to believe, I don't know what to believe. It looks like the kicker's coming out to try to put a field goal on the board. You know they're not going to relinquish the ball. The question is what they're going to do. And yeah, they're coming out to line up for a kick.
42-yard attempt here for Travis Kenner. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, bobbled snap. And that's what you worry about in this situation. Clock stop. And they also, too, will get a couple extra yards here to try and find a Hail Mary, maybe 2 or maybe even 3 of them on the prayer.
Yeah, it's going to be, they're going to have 6 seconds left. And so, be interesting to see. I mean, this isn't something, if you're St. Francis defense, you haven't practiced, you're not, game 1, you know, you're going to drop your defensive backs back, but the flip side is if you're Clyde's offense, you know, this is early in the season, but man, to come down to a situation like this.
And also, too, worth noting, also without their leading wide receiver, Brady Wilson, who was carted off earlier.
That is an excellent point, and you are right.
Knights in their prevent defense here. It's going to take a Hail Mary, well, maybe even 2 here from Jaden Cook. Strap those seatbelts tight here. Watch for several laterals here. This is why you practice this at the end of your play. Practice. Back to the quarterback, Cook. Cook has some room. Looking, he throws it across the field. There's some daylight here. They have some room across the 40. There is a penalty marker down here. Hold on right now. Waiting to see if it is on the offense or the defense here, because if it is on the defense, the game cannot end on a penalty.
It is on the offense, and it is declined. Game over.
That is your ball game. The Knights battle back to earn the 21-14 victory inside the Glass Bowl over the Clyde Fliers. Victory number 1. Bruce Gradkowski 1 for 1 in his high school coaching career.
So what you want to do is win your debut game, and great job. 2 excellent teams here that look to have a great season ahead of them. Gradkowski and the St. Francis Knights pull out the win here.
If you're Coach Gradkowski, you learned a lot about this team and have a lot of trust in senior quarterback Denham Truss, who was a man on a mission tonight.
Truss really led this team, handled the ball well, had the 1 interception early on, but didn't take any foolish sacks. And yeah, somebody that is a coach, you go, I know I can put my trust in Truss.
They move to 1-0. Clyde falls, losing a heartbreaker for the 2nd straight meeting against St. Francis. They drop to 0-1. That'll do it for our entire BCSN crew. Tonight's coverage has been brought to you by Dave White Chevrolet for the #1 buy with the #1 guy. The place to go is Alexis Salmon Row. Dave White Chevrolet. See all the great deals at DaveWhiteChevy.com. For our entire BCSN crew, my broadcast partner Ed Bellner, I'm Tim Claggs saying so long from inside the glass bowl.